Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Super Millions. This is the WSOP Winter Circuit. We are in for a treat. This is going to be a 18 event series where it runs from December 4th to January 9th, and we are going to get a ring. If you win this tournament, you get a ring. That is right, a World Series, not a bracelet, but a ring will be sent to your home. So that is going to be taking place during December and January. I see my good friend, my podcast co-host as well for Vig Free here, Brian Rast. Welcome. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you taking the time. I know it's the World Cup. Brazil, you're repping it. They're on to the next round. Of course, our wives are Brazilian. We got the World Cup. It's exciting. The Moroccans in the shootout. But today, Brian, we're calling some high stakes action. I know you've been on the Super Millions before. Appreciate you being back. And you know, this is a big one. 10K buy-in, big purse, big prizes. How are you doing today, Brian?
Doing great, man. It's good to be here, Jeff. Thank you for the kind intro. Obviously World Cup, super exciting. I was in Brazil for the month of November. Energy was amazing. The matches have been great, but yeah, today there's some amazing poker. Just over $1 million for first place, a lot of big payouts. I'm excited to watch some poker and, follow with you guys and try to learn and, enjoy the action. Let's do it.
He says try to learn. We're going to take a look here at the total. There's 18 ring events, and we will be, of course, spreading the action from December 4th to January 9th. And on the Tuesdays, which is Super Millions, 1:45 Eastern every week, but they will be special edition during that time. And today is no different when there's 150 million in total guaranteed prize pool. I just want to build up Rast a little more. If you don't know him, you don't know who he is. He's got 5 World Series bracelets, over $23 million in lifetime earnings. So listen, we'll have some fun. We'll have some color. Rast definitely knows a thing or two about poker. And again, we will be covering the action on the Tuesdays throughout this winter circuit event here. And of course, you can see there's 3 major tournaments: the Millionaire Maker, the Mystery Bounty, and the main event. So if you are in a jurisdiction that you're able to play on GG and you're able and eligible to win one of these, we welcome you guys to take part in that format of a special event. It's kind of nice, right? Have you ever won an online bracelet or an online ring, Rast? I know you've got 5 physical bracelets, but have you ever had a ring or a bracelet mailed to you?
I haven't. None of those 5 are online.
All right. Well, and yeah, all right, fair enough. You're a live guy. You're a live pro. I'm sure you've won some big tournaments online, but today, again, it will be.
It's been a minute. It's been a long time, bro. They were all pre-Black Friday, essentially. I think I've won one tournament when we were in Mexico. I won that deuce to 7 no limit single draw. And that was one of the only times I played tournaments. I went there it was Scoop, right? That's what we were doing.
Yeah, that was some good memories. But today, again, it's the 10,300 day 2. This is a tournament that's played on Sunday. And then on Tuesday, the final 9 come back and play for that coveted Super Millions title. And again, a World Series ring, circuit ring, which is going on. If we take a look at the final table prize pool today, we had 722 entries. 96 will make the money. We've already hit that portion, as we mentioned on Sunday, and now the final 9 come in for that massive prize pool. 7 million on a tournament on a Sunday, and you can see a look at the prizes. Anything jump out here for you, Rast? 137,000 for 9th. Kind of gets jumbled up. A juicy 845,000 up top. What anything notable on that payout structure?
Well, yeah, first, 722 entries for a 10K is very solid. That's good. You can see, looking at the payouts, that there's some healthy prizes up there. The number one thing that jumps out to me about the payouts, especially compared to most live payouts, is that it's much more graduated. You're looking at 1.1 for first, we have 850 basically for second. 650 for third, 500 for fourth. So, fourth is just a little bit below half of first place. So in other words, once you start climbing up these first couple, these are significant pay jumps. Like the difference from 5th to 4th is 115,000. The difference from 2nd to 1st is that's only, 250. So really it's like, there's a lot of incentive. Like, yeah, maybe you don't win, you don't get the ring, but money wise, coming in 3rd and 2nd is like no joke in these. It's like a very high percentage of first compared to most live tournaments. So that's the number one thing that stands out to me.
Yeah, big money up top all around. A lot of reais. You're repping Brazil again. That's this is a big payday, big opportunity. Let's take a look at who we have at this feature final table before we toss it down and dive into the action. There is a look at the final table. Look, we're just going to get right into it. I think there is a we've got a big day here. Any names that jump out to you? I know there's a few in my
for sure. I mean, from the Triton stuff, Alex Panakovs, I'm assuming that's his real name he has to use here. So, I mean, we've covered him some. I remember he had a couple final tables. I think he got like second in one. I don't know if he ended up winning a Triton title, but I remember him. Mike Watson, of course, same thing. Mike Watson, though, unlike Panakovs, has been playing for a long time. So, I know Mike from playing from years ago, in addition to, of course, playing on Triton. Elio Fox, another like longtime high roller player that I know. And after those guys, maybe not so much. Feel like maybe I've heard the name Wisprod before. Radoja, not as familiar with them, but yeah.
Yeah, some big names. Sir Watts was just a guest on the show, also been on the podcast. He is a absolute crusher. I mean, this is not going to be a cakewalk final table for anyone. If we take a look at the chips, I mean, 8 million for Sir Watts. Anatoly Filatov, also a member of GG. He has got 7.4 million. So a couple of big names with big stacks, few unknowns, and Alex Panakovs, who is also someone I think we covered in Madrid, right, for Triton, where he made a final table in the main event, and he's had a lot of success and one of the elite players in tournament poker at the moment. So no doubt about it. He's got a big lead there, 16 million, like basically double second place. Let's see how he is able to orchestrate his big stack, and we should see an interesting final table today as we pick up the action blind on blind. 2 million in the middle, and look at that, 6 deuce in position suited. Barak going to capitalize and take a pot here. So nice start. He's throwing some emojis, rocking the D-Negs emojis up to a cool 11.35 million. And 9-handed poker, Rast, talk to me about that. Generally nowadays we see 8-handed poker, but 9-handed, it's a final table. ICM implications at its peak, essentially at this portion of the tournament. What do you do with 9-handed? Are you really, as a middling stack, or you just don't want to really get involved? Is that kind of your strategy if you sit in the middle here?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to tighten up as a middling stack because a pressure can be applied to you. It does kind of matter positionally, like who has position in this, but obviously in early position, you pretty much have to get through the whole field. So sure, but that said, we can see, I mean, King 8 suited from 6 max under the gun, definitely an open, but not an open from somebody who would necessarily be really tightening up their opening range, I feel like. And as you can see, ace jack off finds the 3-bet. That's a hand that has good blocker effects, performs decently when called normally, a little tighter in a spot with ICM implications where you're a little bit less likely to be called there by hands that you dominate. But a great selection for kind of a light 3-bet that is, I would assume, always folding to the 4-bet jam. But yeah, interesting hand. But yeah, no, I mean, I think you're going to see, different players are going to take different strategies when it comes to ICM. I think ICM is something that we all talk about. We throw that term around, and we, at this point, most people know what it means. It means, the chips aren't a one-to-one value with cash because you're getting different payouts. So it affects how you play. Generally, you kind of want to tighten up unless maybe you have a lot of chips and you put on the pressure. That said, there isn't really a general agreement about ICM in the way there is maybe about like a GTO 30 big blind opening range that's been solved, right? So there's disagreement among even top players about the ICM implications in different spots. So, it's something where I always find it interesting to watch and see how different people play at different spots. Because obviously some people, as you said, tighten up a lot more, and other people a little bit less because everybody has their own theories.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we welcome you in if you're joining us from wherever in the world. Hope you're enjoying the World Cup. Hope you're getting to enjoy some good action. Big upset today. Obviously, Morocco and penalties kind of packed it in and got it done. And, just like soccer, just like any game, just like poker, there's a strategy. And depending on who your opponent is and what your situation is, you have to adjust. So that's always what I think the most fun about these high buy-in final tables. There's a lot of players that are familiar with themselves or with their opponents, and they're able to come up with a game plan to effectively maneuver the best they can. And again, a lot of these guys have seen each other and play with each other. So we'll see who comes out on top today. A lot to play for. And the chip leader, Alex Panakovs, has been kind of chomping at the bit. He hasn't really got a chance to get involved here yet, as we see Bio Deng come in with the ace-4 suited. So the ace, I want to talk about the ace-jack hand there, Rast. The thoughts to 3-bet or flat. So Anatoly does open a little bit wide and gets 3-bet. Do you like the 3-bet with the ace-jack off, or do you think flatting there has merit, or is that kind of a mandatory 3-bet?
I mean, I think both plays have merit. I mean, my guess is that it's what is 6 max under the gun. So I think I would guess that a GTO range would probably split between 3-bet and flatting, with the idea being that it's, a hand that performs fine flatting, and that you're in position and doing fine against the guy's range, especially getting all the overlay with the blinds and everything. The flip side is with the blocker effects, it becomes one of your stronger like 3-bet bluffs, right? Where you're actually ahead of some hands that might end up flatting you, such as like king jack, queen jack, 10 jack suited, etc. So even a hand like ace 10 suited, or ace 8 suited. So like I think it's a hand that it's fine to play either way, right? It's a little bit up to the discretion. And I think you're going to see in that spot where a middling stack opens, and then the button, I think it was Wizbroad, right? The button covers very comfortably, probably ends up leaning that to 3-bet more often, whereas like maybe a GTO range would be kind of 50-50-ish, or something like that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that hand.
Very nice. Well, here we see Anatoly Filatov got the taxi, king 10, actually suited, so not offsuit. That's a Houston reference, and he puts Sir Watts in a difficult position. He does get 3-bet. Sir Watts decides to call, knows it's going to be a little dicey. He's going to have to probably check fold a lot, as we see the queen jack X flop there. Very nice flop for king 10 suited. Does go ahead and continuation bet and take it down. So again, Anatoly showing a light open, showing a relatively modest hand to 3-bet. Definitely playing attack poker right now, fun to watch. And
I got a question for you, JG. So yeah. I just want to confirm this, because I'm not as familiar, and you probably know the answer. So all the people with names, which is 7 of the 9, those are the real names. And then the 2 guys, Libre and Korenkas, they just happen to be people who aren't using their name because, I don't know. Can you just explain a little bit?
Yeah, so basically GG has a policy where they are able to request you to use your real name if you are a professional, or they feel that it is, that would be best for everyone to know. Now, I've always also, as an ambassador for GG, I've asked about this and sort of tried to understand a little bit better myself. It's a great question, right? Do you have an option to opt out? They basically tell you, if you want to play here, that is, you're going to need to reveal your name, and they don't make everyone do that. So there's a little bit of discussion about that. And I would like to see the actual terms and conditions and the exact ruling. Let me try to get a little clear clarification, because I don't know, obviously, Brian, if you were offered the option, you probably wouldn't want to have your name, right? If you could choose yes or no, if they just let you know. So I think I think you're basically supposed to, expected to do that if asked, is how I'll say it. But I will get like a.
So normally though, if like someone doesn't have their name, they probably don't have like a bunch of results or something. Because at some point, if you're like well known or this, or you've won some money, or they're going to ask you to use your name. All right. Yeah. Is that so? Yeah. Okay. So probably Korenkas or Libre, not to throw any shade, maybe they're not well known, or professional poker players, at least to the level that the other 7 probably. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That's the answer. And again, I'd like to be a little more clear on that, because I have asked in the past, and I don't know the fine print, what they're I can't tell you. It says, is it $1 million in earnings? Is it a bracelet? What is the cutoff? I can't give you that answer. I will find that out. I know some people in the audience are asking as well. What up, PTSENE? A lot of familiar faces. Appreciate you guys being with us today. Please let us know where you are watching from. Hope you're enjoying the show. And here we go. We got 8-10 and queen 10. Interesting board here. And we see a bet with the 2 pair on a 4-liner. Pretty interesting bet size and decision for Anatoly here.
Yeah, I think he's deciding, he's going 35% as a little bit like value small enough where it's a value bet, can control the pot size, against a range that, you know, figures to have a lot of one pair hands. Obviously, Filatov can have the queens, kings, aces, as well as, you know, ace 10, king 10, a bunch of hands like ace X suited for one pair. I think he wants to get value from those hands, figuring that if, you know, if tens and eights are beat there, he's always facing a bet himself, you know.
Yep. Well, nice, up to 19 million. So really nice hand there for Alex. He is gonna be a massive chip lead. He also has a very experienced player in his direct left with a healthy stack. So that'll be interesting to see the blind on blind. The short stack there, Karenkis is going to, Karenkis, I should say, from Israel, is going to get out of the way. And here's the chip leader with a middling stack, I guess like a sort of healthy middling stack. A lot of stacks are similar. Let's see what he does here against a very competent opponent. We do see the large raise sizing, and this is a curious position for Mike here.
This is not like a short final table. I mean, these 7 million stacks are over 40 blinds right now. So, I mean, there's a decent amount of play. It also, as a note to the previous hand with the 10-8, I mean, I don't remember the exact post-flop action, but I believe there was at least one check back. Also, the Ponikov's was the big blind. So he's going to have a lot more like two pairs and straights. My guess is at the end, his range had a solid equity advantage as well, which makes it a spot where he's going to be able to use smaller bet sizing to get values out of nice two pairs, you know, like that. So pretty cool hand.
Yeah, he is officially right at about 20 million chips here, really going his way so far. Couple pots, couple value bet, and nice execution, and he has really separated himself. That's a tough spot with the ace-7 off against the chip leader, getting blasted. Going to realize you're going to get put in some tough spots, even if you hit your hand. As played, though, he does pick it up. Both players miss, and he capitalizes. And Anatoly's going right back to work with an open, and he will be met with some resistance here from Mr. Watson out of the small blind. Expect him to pop this up. It's 9-handed. It's under the gun raise, but you know, this is a premium hand. He does go to 1.2 million. Takes it down, yeah. Oh, do you want to do a draft, Rast? We kind of forgot about it. It's 9-handed. We could do that for a dinner, like a nice dinner. You're gonna be, I might be seeing you very soon here coming up on the West Coast. We could do it. We could do a draft or something. Could do even more if you want to gamble. I know you like to wager sometimes. It's up to you.
Well, the issue with the draft right now is that definitely whoever gets the first pick, I mean, it's a pretty big advantage.
It's a snake draft though, so it goes 1 and then you get 2.
Sure, but there's not really 2 good picks for the second. I mean, obviously you take Wizbrod, but then, you know, there's a bunch of people with like 7 million. So still, I'd say big advantage to go first. I mean, yeah, I'll do it. I guess we just got to find a way to flip to see who gets first.
Red or black, same old, Rest. You know, we're talking about a dinner. We're talking, can't be, you can't get that hurt.
All right, I'll take red. I win on the next flop we see.
Okay. Right? And again, yes, we got the audience has a giveaway. They're going to get a $50 GG tournament ticket or a $100. And I want them to be a part of the action on who they're sweating. We're going to give them a couple people to sweat as a bonus for the possible at the 100. And of course, we will go from there. And Rast, you've got red for the next flop. So let's see what happens. It is a big one. It's a pretty big flip.
What are we doing? Who pays for the next dinner? Is that the bet? Oh, yeah.
Big dinner though. This isn't just like this is an In-N-Out burger. This is
he doesn't. I think he didn't defend the queen 6 suited there. Is that what it looked like? That was an ICM adjustment for sure. I mean, decided not against a early position strong range. I mean, like getting good odds, min raise, a very solid playable hand there.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting here at 310 suited against again, 2 players that play high stakes, know each other very well. And let's see what Elio comes up with 3.
So if Elio defends here, he's defending with an even weaker hand against even weaker range. But okay, he doesn't. Then the previous hand where Filatov folded a stronger hand against the stronger range.
Yeah, we got a question in the chat about 2 million. Was folding 6-6 to an open while on 2 million too tight for the short stack there? I think it was the last hand with 6s. I mean, this is, again, you can, you can kind of, it depends where it's from, who it's from, what the stack size are, but this is
It was versus the EP Open, right?
yeah, that's it.
My guess is it was probably the right fold. I mean, I don't remember the exact positions, but it was like 7 or 8 handed under the gun, and then he's next with like 6 people behind him. I think probably, and I mean, it's not like he's under 10 blinds. He's what he's like, probably had like 13 or 14 blinds. It's probably pretty close, but probably a good fold. I mean, he's still got a little, I mean, he's so short. There's not too much ICM effects, but my guess it's a good fold.
Yeah, I think that's that was the right fold. We are going to play to a winner. Someone asked, we're going to play down to the end of the tournament today. There will be someone winning over $1 million. Pretty exciting one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, if you hit the thumbs up, and later in the show, we will do a keyword and we will pick a winner for $50 or $100. And we need all in. Look at this. Quite a good spot for sevens, as it turns out. Wow.
Crushing spot. And he wins.
No sweat turn. This is
definitely a sweat for 6th Street if there was one right there. Yeah, no, I actually think probably on that hand where he folded 6s. Okay, let's say it was 7-handed under the gun and he was the low jack or 6-hand under the gun. My guess is 6s is the cutoff fold at GTO. That would be my guess. So probably 7s, definitely 8s. But to answer the guy's question in the chat, I think 6s was a good fold.
Yeah, I think it was. We got that chat. The payouts changed for you guys there. You can see a little more clearly. 1,095,000 to first. So
hold on. Will Panakovs take this 3-bet spot here? It's not going to work out for him if he does. 50 blinds is a little deep for this. The king little suited, but he's like, I'm the chip leader. We're going to put the pressure. I don't care if it's 50 blinds. So now Wizbrod with a decision about how he plays this. I mean, I guess with ICM it's probably a flat, but if you think the chip leader is going ham, kind of go either way. I mean, against the bluffs, he's probably doing pretty well at most 1 overcard. Okay, he sticks it in. Honestly, that's one of those spots where I had a spot somewhat similar to that in the 5 diamond from October, where I wasn't on the button, and it was a guy who just barely covered me. We were it was the bubble spot, and actually what's his name? Who's the guy who won that? Chad Evislage. He busted me with aces, and I was talking about that hand afterwards, and it's like jacks is so tricky in those spots because your blockers aren't as good to jam in that spot as like ace-5 suited, and it can play fine calling. It's tricky. I mean, Barack went with the jam, but like I wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me calling was better in that spot, all things considered. But I mean, I obviously folding is the worst play. So folding is bad, but call versus jam, I think it's actually pretty close. I'd probably lean call, but
I think I would have jammed it myself, but I do think that the merits for calling make a lot of sense. I just think it's just crazy when the guy just rips over queens, right? And you're out and you're out and you so much EVs down the drain, but at the same time you might get outplayed or you might get outflopped. And we got some hands here that the Sir Watt's going to wake up with a very nice timed aces with a raise and a re-raise. Now got the button, got the best hand, and got 2 raises in front of you. Pretty nice looking scenario. Is there anything other than shove? I guess is it deep enough where you can just put a little one in? Yeah, right. Why not? Give a little rope. Yeah, shove. This is Panakovs, a little bit of aggression. He's back to where he started. 16 mil. He's been splashing around. That's I think the power of a great player and being aggressive, right? Like an Adamo, this Panakovs doing these type of things, taking plays, making moves, because people are just like, man, how could he ever have anything? But then when you have something, you get paid too, right? So he's playing pots, he's in the mix, and he's going to give people some really difficult decisions today. I think that's clear.
So how's Koronkas? What's he going to do here? So he's going with the min raise, which I'd assume is I mean, you're inducing off of 10 blinds here. So Radoja with 5s. Wow, he just calls. Interesting. That's Gonna maybe save him some money because we got the jacks. I mean, I don't think Koronkos can get away here.
I don't know. I mean, he's seen he is the shortest stack, right? We talk about this term risk premium. So him going out right now is not a huge blunder by any means. I mean, the problem is like what hands
he's getting an amazing price on this, and he has a very strong hand. I would not fold this. He's going to do whatever he's going to do, but I would not fold. I mean, you got to think too. I mean, he's calling 3.3, but there's already 7. Okay, but like less. I mean, he's not calling 2.5 of that. So 4.5. I mean, he's getting a very big overlay. On chip EV, he probably needs like 38 or 39% or something, roughly, I'm calculating. I think he's got to be getting like well over that with ace queen suited here.
I think he's going to fold. I think he's going to fold, but yeah, I think you're
and
right.
I don't think there's enough ICM to judge. Like, let's say he's getting 45, like mid to high 40s. Could even be better than that. Like that's big. Like, I don't think ICM is accounting that, given what you said, the risk premium that he has the shortest stack. So I'm sticking this in.
Yeah, I think I don't know. My gut tells me he's going to fold. I think you're right. It's just kind of one of those things. The blinds are still manageable. He is the shortest, but it's like he's going to get shown ace king and
are they that manageable? I mean, he's going to have to pay 500,000 pretty soon, which is, like a sixth of a stack. Like,
he's got the perfectly imperfect hand here, right? It's like, yeah, it's just it does feel too good to fold. I think that I
think it is too good to fold. I think folding this is a mistake. I mean, I'm just going to say it. Like, it's okay. We all do it, but I'm going to die on this hill. So, someone can tell me I'm wrong and show me, and I'd love it because I'll get better. But this is a call. I think ace jack suited is probably a fold, but like this is the cutoff the other way. Like,
I'm saying I think he's gonna fold. I'm not saying I would fold, even though I'm on the tighter side. But yeah, I agree. I feel like the math, it is too good. It's also we happen to see he's getting.
Yeah,
I'm just saying what I think he's gonna do.
Well, you got it right.
And I may have myself, so I'm gonna stay in the middle. Even though I know the right he's not sure if, and he's gonna find out. He would have been flipping, and that's a butterfly effect. That could be a potential, like if he ends up getting 4th or 5th, and he's like, okay, maybe I would have lost a flip, but maybe he goes out in 9th and he never gets a chance to get it going. That's the other part, Rast. It's so interesting, right? Like, let's say he somehow ladders to 8th or 7th, right? Was it worth it? Maybe he had a chance to actually win it by going there and calling.
I mean, like, that's the thing. I think, like, if your opponent shows you jacks there, you probably still call. Like, you need 39%. Ace queen suited versus jacks is probably what, like 46, 47, something like that. Yeah. So, like, I think you actually, maybe with ICM instead of 39, you need like 42, because it's like small effects for him. Because like, look now, he folds and he has the shortest stack by quite a bit. He calls, he loses, he's out, but he calls, he wins. He's like, 3rd in chips, like solidly below 1 and 2, but like, probably 3rd. I think I don't know.
It's a black flop. Have we had a flop before this? Because it's important. I mean, I'm willing to say if we've had a flop before that, we can do another one, and I'm not sure if we have. But that was a black flop. No one noticed it. Any audience at home want to help us? Because it's a critical flip. Truthfully.
Yeah. Have we had a flop?
I'm willing to do it again. It's just such a big.
Did we do? What about the hand where Ponikov's raised Watson's blind? Was that?
We hadn't.
Had we?
I mean, it's sick because now I feel like I really don't know. I blacked out for a second in terms of, because there's a lot of raises and re-raises. We didn't see flops.
I mean, here's the thing. You basically win unless somebody tells us that there has been a flop previously or something. Because I mean, it was slept. I mean, not that we're supposed to sleep, but like, what else are we gonna do? Like,
well, here we go. We said so. We've had 2 flops before, not just one.
Yeah.
We've had one.
I was guessing we've had a flop because it's been a while. So it's okay.
So it's red and 2 blacks.
He said it was red first and then 2 blacks.
Wow.
So I mean, I guess I don't know if either I win or we keep going. I feel like if the guy's saying that, I'll do this. Either I win or you got to win but two in a row. So you're 25%, something like that. I'm assuming this guy who's typing is right.
I love YouTube. I love Twitch. One gentleman who I don't know in the chat randomly telling me that it was red. He might have missed it. So how do we know he missed it? And then there was two black.
So we'll do the next one.
Redo it. Let's just do it. I think it's, I mean, in some ways, it's kind of your fault too, right? If we're sleeping, both our faults, but someone to acknowledge it. So I think that's like a complete fair wash. But yeah, it's not like I missed the red and then the next flop I see and I'm like, oh, we actually missed like 4 flops. So we're both, first flop was red.
Oh, another guy, first flop was red.
Might be the same guy. HNDX. He might be a big Rast fan. He might have a Rast poster at home. Like I don't know. You know, it's anything's possible. Redo the flop. I'm with Morales. We slept it. If we sleep it, it's I think I'm giving you a favor. That's how I feel at least. But guys, let's see what happens here. Next flop, you're in on the giveaway. We're gonna pick you some guys to sweat as well. And Mark Radoja. Rast, you know, this is the guy that beat me heads up for a bracelet. I love to bring that up. He's here a lot, so I love to reminisce. It hurts, but it's also a good memory. You were there for that final table, 2011.
Oh, yeah.
Ace Jack to King 10. I just, you know, I just can't let it go. I can't stop talking about it. But here he is. Here he is. The guy can play some cards. He won another bracelet afterward, and he is back for another big score opportunity. Very talented player. Hailing from Canada, rocking the Mexico flag, maybe living down there now. And
I mean, 10 high. Never winning at showdown. Are we bluffing here?
I think we are. It's also one of the worst hands we can have. We don't have spades. We don't, you know, Ant don't block that and goes for it. And this is a nice bet. Nice bet. And Mark, man, important pot. Does he want to call, be the shortest? His alarm bells may be going off. Stuff misses in the big blind, 7-8. There's, you know, 8-10 as we see here, suited that would turn draws, or queen 10 suited maybe that picked up and stuck in there. So I don't know, man. Talented player. That's why they get paid the big bucks, Rast. They usually get these right.
Yeah, probably not bluffing nut flush draws, but the queen of spades very relevant. You probably see some bluffs from queen high flush draws that miss. It's not the queen of spades, not the best card. Yeah, tough call and nice bluff.
Really a big bluff, big swing, and yeah, you can't blame him. I mean, Mark not really having one of the best calling candidates, right? He's got the spades, he's got a queen. So I can't fault him for
yeah, calling. Ricky, there's no Rast posters available. Jeff is just blowing smoke up my ass, but it's all right. We're all good, you know? Well, the next flop will be red because the cards don't lie.
The cards don't lie. Actually, HNDRX is claiming he's a fan of me, so makes me think that maybe it really was red. You know, he had heard him to do it, but he's telling the truth. So I'll let you
I don't have many fans on the internet. Like you said, I listen, I don't do Twitch. I don't really do. We have our podcast where we've done 5 episodes in like a year.
We're dormant.
I don't play online anymore. It's been, I mean, Zarast, that was actually my online handle, but we haven't really seen Zarast in action for like 12 years now or something. So yes, and it's true. Black. Okay, and all right. So you win. So I owe dinner.
You owe no, you don't owe dinner. We still get to play for the picks, Rast. That's just for the pick.
Oh, that's the pick. That's right.
It's not over. I know you're conceding. Yeah, I'm taking Panakovs. You get 2 picks now. We got a full couple hours of action here.
I'll take Wizbrod and Watson.
Wow, that hurts. Two great players and picks. All right, I'll go with Anatoly, and I will go with Elio with 5.6 on the left of those 2 super crushers. So that's my next 2. Now you get 2.
So you end up with 5 players as well?
No, it'll be 4 and 4, and the last we don't pick a 9th.
Okay. Who'd you take, Anatoly and Elio?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess who's left? Bao, Radoja, Libre, and Koronkas, right? So I'm gonna go Radoja and Bao.
Radoja and Bao. So I'll take Libre then, and then we'll have the short stack Koronkas, who is in no man's land. But guess what? The audience, you adopt him, you get him. So you get a $50 guaranteed GG ticket at the end of the stream. We'll do a giveaway, and then it could be 100. So you're going to get Koronkas. We're going to give you the chip leader Panakovs. I'm going to throw in Anatoly Filatov because he's part of Team GG and a guy. And then how about we'll give him Mike Watson too. Those are pretty 4 three strong ones, four. They got to sweat Barack, a few other guys in the middle, but you guys are rooting for those four players. If they were to win, you would get the extra 50 for whoever wins the giveaway. So
hey, Joseph, this is for you, buddy. I'm going to keep drinking my water. All right. Thank you for telling me what to do, though. I appreciate it.
Keep drinking. Oh,
why don't you get a robot friend who you can tell what to do? Okay. I'm not that guy. Okay.
Rast,
I do whatever I want. Chat's gonna tell me not to drink water. I mean, dude, go F yourself. I'm serious, bro. All right, there we go. All right, I love you all, but just don't tell me not to drink water. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. It's crazy.
Water's important. Speaking of robots, what do you think about that law I saw in San Francisco or California? I think it's San Francisco. They can use deadly force with firearms. I mean, pretty intense. Did you see that?
No, what?
They voted if robots could use deadly force.
Wow, really?
With the gun. I mean, I read it on Rogan. Maybe it's fake news, but I think it passed like 8-3 in a bill. So that's interesting.
Robots could or couldn't use deadly force? What did they vote?
They voted they could, but again, maybe it could be fake news. I read it on Rogan, and it
feels like robots are still pretty far away from that. Like we're years away. It's pretty early. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not. That's crazy.
Things are happening fast out there. So stay safe.
Yeah.
If you're in San Fran, you should keep your head on a swivel. And that's yeah. Oh, those robots would be man controlled though. Yeah, interesting. It's a fake. All right. Anyway, guys, we're gonna focus on poker. Sorry to get that. I heard robot. I was just looking for clarification.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. Ooh, the 4-bet with ace-4 off. Wow, that's going for it.
I mean, Panakovs is basically saying to Barack that I'm on to you. I know you're aggressive. I know you like to play. And Barack gonna also wake up with another premium hand. And he just calls this time. And look at this. This is where is, the good news, bad news situation, right? Bad news is if you just shove it, you would have won. Good news is that you still have 10 million, the ace flops, and probably won't get super crushed. But this is interesting.
This is a spot where it's weird. Obviously, with the cold 4-bet, the value range is much stronger. That said, this is a spot where you're out of position. It's pretty brutal. It's curious. This is a tough flop to continue because a lot of Alexa's bluffs have an ace, probably like most of them. So pretty hard for queens to be good here. Doesn't have the heart either. Yeah, just lets it go.
So big, it just looked like Panakov's timing was just off today, right? But then he finds another top of the range hand to attack, and this time gets flatted and then gets there on the flop. So he is at his peak 20 million. And whoa, this is
but it's versus under the gun range, so he just finds the call.
I will point out, I've said it before. I like Mark. I think he's a great guy, a great player. I feel like I'm his good luck charm in general. And this is pretty fortunate to flop the straight against aces. Man.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is this is an interesting spot because his range is obviously getting smashed on this board. Under the gun 9 open on King Jack 10, going to be doing a lot better than the big blind defend range. Obviously, it's not as extreme as normal because it's going to be slightly tighter on 10 big blinds defending than a normal range would be versus a min range. But now his decision. I mean, I think you just put it in here with the double flush draw. Does he go flat?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty dynamic board, I guess. Like, yeah, you're just the question is if you call and get a brick, does your opponent shell it off? Is he more inclined to have value? Does he fold ever ace king here? What is he really repping or set? He's not folding.
All right, and now 2.3. Let's see, what's he gonna do with the aces? Does my opponent have king queen? Would he be doing this with a hand like queen X suited, pair flush draws? Does he just call those? This is a very gross spot with aces.
Right. You start thinking, wow, does he have queen nine? I block ace queen, but does he just have king jack suited, jack two pairs? And you lose to so many things. Yeah, I don't think, maybe knowing too, like if the player did have like a combo draw or something, he might be able to call and then get to showdown on the river as well, if something, certain runouts. So that's what's going through Anatoly's head. Man, the price is the price, 2.3 million, hard to fold aces, but do you ever have the best hand here? Man, I don't envy the spot.
with the gutter, I mean, against two pair, it's actually probably pretty close on the odds because he has the gutter with the aces.
Right. That's,
I mean, against like jack three, you've got 3 10s, 3 kings, 2 aces, and 4 queens. That's 12 out of like 46 cards, right? So
yeah, he's crunching some numbers for sure. Very difficult decision. Really hard to fold aces, although the board is,
you're probably like, you probably need about 30% because it's a little bit less than 3 to 1 you're getting from the pot, somewhere between 2 and 3 to 1. So you're just barely not getting the right price versus two pair. So it's like, I mean, yeah, that's straight. Obviously, you're pretty hosed, and then anything else, you're like a favorite. So, the real question is, I would assume two pair plus jams. Then the question is, like I said, does he have any how many queen X pair flush draw? So king queen, jack queen, queen seven of clubs. Like how many hands? Queen seven of spades. How many hands like that can my opponent have? Does he ever even have like ace X of spades? Jamming instead of call. I think different people might play those differently here, right? Yeah, obviously calling, you realize, and you don't risk all your chips, but you shove, you get a fold.
Yeah, does make the call, and he is going to be in a world of hurt to try to chop, which would be a miraculous result after all the time. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! That is absolutely insane. I mean, Mark can't even believe it, right? When you get called there, you might have to fade some different things, but to see the free roll chop and then it comes in on the lady on the river, that's a wild deal right there. That is definitely a wild thing. Game is insane. That's why you play the game. That's why you play the run out. Silly run out. In some ways though, when you signed up, that could have gone a lot differently at the start of the hand. Aces to ace queen, also some scenarios to get stacked there. So I guess it could be worse, but that was a tough break there for Mark.
Certainly was.
Wow. Sickness. Game is sick. It is fun. It's sick. We're here. We're enjoying. We're still nine-handed, Rast. I don't know if you got plans this afternoon, this morning, I guess, where you are. This is nine-handed action. We're playing. There's a lot of money at stake, and we've seen a double up from the short stack, and things are sort of even and out here.
I do have plans after this. Actually, I think I'm gonna go play poker.
Oh,
so
you'll be warmed up. You'll be super warmed up. That's for sure. A little different than I guess you're not playing a tournament, right? You're playing cash games?
No, cash game, yeah. Ooh, looks like there's 2 good hands here. I mean, do we 3-bet or flat? I think off of 20 blinds, he's going 3-bet. Now ace queen off with the decision here. Wow, folds it. He will, if he looks back, he's going to be happy to see that he folded there. Pretty sure ace king's never folding, so ace queen off is one of the best hands he could decide to fold, I think. I mean, I think folding ace king just not going to happen. So
yeah, it's an interesting dynamic here. It's like kind of first in raising. You see the power of aggression, getting premiums to fold. No one really wants to go out or risk their stack without a premium holding. So there's a lot of strategy here. Lots of interesting situations that come up. Rock's been aggressive. Of course, we'll open the ace queen off. So we see Libra with sixes. And actually, Panakovs, who has been tangoing with Barak, does he want to keep on the pressure here, or does he sit one out? I just don't see his chip leader ace jack off against the second stack folding in this spot.
He might. Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, the other thing you have to think too is Whisperod's probably. I mean, this is a 9-handed under the gun range with ICM pressure. It's an interesting decision. He decided to flat. I feel like it's it's one of those like all three options are on the table kind of spots, right? I mean, I even think folding it would be reasonable. That said, I think he's also assuming maybe in position he's gonna get to win this like slightly more than he would in a normal spot. But let's see what happens here. He might also just try. I mean, ace jack has some showdown value, so we could see a lot of checks in this one. See what he decides to do.
Yeah, he's got no heart in his hand. There is a queen for Barak. Alexis Panakovs, not in his DNA, I don't think, to fold. This guy, chip leader, aggression, big stage, big purse. He comes in and look at this. Jay on the turn, no waiting, just kind of realizes that sick domination of a hand. Ace queen is no longer in the lead, and we are going to see a interesting scenario here for Brock. No, definitely not one of the highlight cards for him, right? If he was winning, he now loses to Jack King suited or Ace Jack, Jack 10 suited, maybe these type of hands, Jack Queen suited. So kind of
Panakovs is definitely a pedal to the metal chip leader. I mean, we've seen him take a bunch of spots so far. I mean, I do feel like, wow, interesting. He checked it back, queen on the river. I mean, I think at GTO, it's kind of, this is all three are fine. Fold, raise, call. I would probably lean in this spot. I'd actually, even as the chip leader, lean fold versus a guy who has, a middling, a large for middling, but still middling stack opening into the rest of the table. Just because I'd assume his range would be slightly tighter. So therefore a hand that mixes at, cash equilibrium leans fold. But Panakovs has shown pretty consistently so far that he likes getting in there and putting in pressure when and I actually noticed that from Triton. When he has a lot of chips, he's super active, but I noticed when he can be very extreme with the ICM when he's doesn't have a lot of chips. Like, he made some very tight folds. I feel like in a few spots on Triton as well, like when he was a middling stack. Anyway, that back to that pot. Very interesting that no bet went in on the turn or river when people had big hands. So
yeah, and Karenkas is going to find a timely ace king offsuit to shove in, as you mentioned, hitting about 525,000, right? 525 coming through the blind. So that was a very important time to pick up a hand and kind of pay for the blinds, if you will. As you see, he'll still be taking the hit, but at least has a little bit of breathing room as he does get much shorter. And here we go. Anatoly going to raise up king queen and a couple playable hands. One in particular of Bow here with sevens, gonna have a decision if he wants to play aggressively or flat. Definitely could flat. I think it makes sense. And I guess also with ace nine off, kind of an awkward hand, right? To defend, you could just be dominated. Do you have fold equity? Do you just have to fold? But it's an interesting spot in itself. Goes for the call, flops the ace. First part of the puzzle complete. Got the best hand, 1.5 in the middle. How do you proceed? Checks, and Anatoly not going to be super impressed with this flop. Has king queen, blocks ace king, ace queen. Does he want to try to tell a story? Probably not. And now Bow with sevens is in second and likely not in love with that flop either.
Yeah, might see bet here. Decides not to. Sevens is a weird hand that is sometimes good. When it is good, it's a hand that definitely needs protection. You might be against 3 or 4 overcards between everyone else. Feel like hands like 4s, 6s, 7s there, like betting a little bit more. If he had like 9s or 10s, maybe like a little bit less.
Yeah, see the 25% lead here into the pot. And he is
Takes
Gonna
it
take
down.
it down. Take it down. Nice pot. Nice tricky hand to play out of the big blind, but 4 million through the blinds. Pretty good result for Kronkas, who is in sort of dire straits here. And as we see, no one with really much of a hand in the chip leader with 4-7 off, likely just gonna take it down. Brock been pretty aggressive, although yeah, I think he's got to respect the chip leader there a bit. And we do see the walk with Panakovs picking it up as
Yeah, I
the
mean,
blinds
Jack
are
6
up.
off would be a really wide open. I mean, I can't even be an open for chip EV, you know, much less on the chip leader's big blind, where he's probably opening tighter than normal there. So would have been a pretty shocking open. I agreed.
Yes, well, Radoja ace jack short stacked is going to open, not shove, and Sir Watts with a very nice hand, but are the implied odds there? Does he want to peel and go to a flop? He does, and now each player flop a portion of the board. Ace jack versus 6-7 suited, 6-7 suited. You know, got 1.4 stack to pot ratio getting low. Let's see Radoja, pretty wet board here. 2 hearts, straight draws available, and he has got a strong hand for this situation.
Yeah, he's got to decide. Looks 680. That's like half pot. So maybe he was going for 2 streets there, half pot jam on a wet board like that. But that sizing gets a fold out of Mr. Watson. No peel.
And
Maybe
Atali
versus third pot or less, he probably takes one off. But
yeah, well, Anatoly likes to play, was considering for a second, looked like Jack 10 off's got 8 million, and Elio now with jacks and not too much firepower behind him. There's a suited ace on his direct left, but again, a lot of players behind. And do you really want to pressure there? I don't think that's the time, and Libre will let it go. And
wouldn't be absurd, but it would have been an ambitious 3-bet for sure.
Yeah. No one's really stepped too far out. We have seen the chip leader make some light raises, and I think Barack has been pretty active. But overall, I'd say, you know, some pretty standard play, and no one really getting too crazy out of line. We'll see another blind on blind confrontation as 9-6 suited and Queen 3 suited. Both gonna be okay with their hands here. See what Mark comes up with. Maybe good enough to check back. He's also not really in a position to be, yeah, to bet fold there would be, bet get stuffed on wouldn't be so fun. So he does take a flop. He has the best hand, but the best draw is Libre, who is in the small blind, and I think can deduce that his opponent isn't gonna have an ace here really ever, right? So he's gonna take a stab with his 9 high with some clubs, some equity. Nice pot. Yeah, no blood yet. No one has really jockeyed for a run at the chip lead. We see Panikov sort of chipped up a bit, and Kronkas has got off from super short to pretty short, but still hovering below 20 blinds, as the blinds are actually up to 125, 250K. So it's I think we'll start seeing some action, some movement, some all-ins are going to start getting created here. But as it stands, ace queen will open, and Panikov's with 4s against the second biggest stack. Guy knows that he can put immense pressure on. Does he want to go to the streets with 4s? Does he?
4s has bad blocker effects for 3-betting here. And versus a min raise and a guy who has, you know, 40 blinds, it's not the worst hand to flat, but he's going for the aggressive route. I think maybe had it been smaller blinds, like, you know, I think the first level was the 160, right? You know, and now they're well over 50 blinds deep. He probably flats here, but I think he's deciding now that the blinds have gone up a couple times, prefers 3-betting, put on the pressure. This is not a comfortable spot with ace queen off. Curious to see how Wisbrad navigates it. Feels like a lot to ship in. Obviously, we could see it would work. You know, it's also kind of annoying flatting. You know, do you just fold though? Because, you know, you're just folding this. You're pretty much, yeah. I mean, you know, it's reasonable, but you are pretty much letting your opponent get away with murder a little bit, which is, it's dicey though. You know, you continue, you're risking a lot of chips, but this we can see is kind of the power of having a big chip lead. And one of the reasons why, we were kind of talking about, yeah, these guys with decent chip stacks, they're going to be opening tighter in early position. Why? That's why. I mean, you open ace queen off in early position, you get 3-bet by the chip leader, you end up folding. So it's like you're folding ace queen off. I mean, how many hands can you really open? Because all these other hands that you would add to open, you just end up folding them if you get 3-bet. So it's if, like, for example, you fold ace queen off there, you have to be opening tight. Otherwise, you're just, you're punting huge by opening, even like a normal GTO range.
Yeah. Bow here with the missionary top and bottom, pretty electric flop for himself. Trying to think, does there merit to check raise here? Do I just call, let him walk the dog a little? There are some scary turns, but I mean, it's still pretty straightforward. Pretty big hand for his hand, and he
Wow.
does go ahead and call. And
good news for him is he is probably going to get a double barrel here on the strength of just the ace being a little bit better for Panakovs. Panakovs now picks up a gutter. He has some pretty good blockers, blocking ace jack.
Yeah, we might see the grown man bet here and feel the temperature. And if you're bow and you get a huge bet,
yeah, like
here,
1.5, I would say if he bets, it's probably at least 3/4 pot. Like in a cat, okay, he doesn't take it. And now bow probably bets this himself. I think check raise, even though it wouldn't be unreasonable, might slightly ambitious. Just go for a bet yourself. Oh, he's going small. Interesting decision. I think the thinking is try to get more value by calls and maybe even induce. I mean, I'm assuming if he gets raised, he's probably not folding, given this has to be one of the better hands he would ever take with this sizing. Yeah, and with the smaller sizing, he ends up getting paid off by king jack. So really interesting river decision there that I mean, definitely maximize value against king jack. I mean, I think if he goes, over half pot, like 2/3, king jack probably ends up folding. So pretty cool.
Also nice to follow it up with some aces against ace 9 off, one of the best hand situations you can have. Aces, I think the ace 6 offsuit's the best, but right in there, right? Aces to ace 9 off, you'll take that matchup any day of the week. Do we find a call? Is it just the 3-bet? You're all of a sudden in second place, basically tied for second. You just send it, shoot it on up, send the message, keep the momentum, pick it up. Nothing cute, nothing fancy. Going to go ahead and chip up into officially second, over 10 million. Barak having a little bit of adversity, chip down from sort of where he was peaking at. He had that shove 3-5 suitor, ran in blind on blind to Kroenkes' 7s at the time. And he also has got put in some difficult situations. The plan is clear for Panakovs. He has been attacking Barak, right? Like, it's like relentlessly. He's just kind of like letting him know, hey man, if you want to play pots, you're gonna have to come through me. And he has really followed suit on that. And he is having his way right now at 19 million chips. And Panakovs to win, I mean, to lose, I should say. He just feels like he's in control. He's playing a lot. He's got that big breakthrough, Rast, the ace 4 off against queens, right? That was very nice shakeout for him. And here we go, queen king, just kind of a fist pump shove, shortest stack. Don't really see much else here that can be done. He does get it in, and that will work.
Yeah, and all the other shorter stacks, got to be a little annoyed that Kroenkes has chipped up now and has basically joined that short group around 4 million. About 4 players in that short group between 4 and 5 million. Elio, Radoja, Libre, and Kroenkes now.
Yeah, he's got a decision here, ace 10 off. I mean, it's some late 9-handed position. So he's on the button here with ace 10 off, seeing a open here that, this would be a big swing if somehow he could find the shove and get it through. I don't know if he will. It's not easy to pull the trigger here with the ace 10 off. You're chipping up a little bit, you got 4 million, could just run into the buzzsaw. You do get out of the way. And Panakovs, he seems, one thing I'm noting today is he likes to attack next in line, right? He has been attacking the big stacks when they are opening.
It's a tight fold. I mean, I'd say at about 15 blinds, ace 10 off, probably the weakest offsuit ace that jams versus with the hijack open, right? So definitely a slightly tight adjustment there. That said, it does make some sense, right? Now he has some ICM effects, so jamming. I would say Bow probably opening with, yeah, the chip leaders in the small blind, but been very active, a stack that's going to get attacked. Bow's probably opening slightly tighter. I think I like the ace 10 off fold there, but it's close. And I mean, I'm pretty sure ace 10 off is a chippy v jam if there's no ICM effects. So
is Panakov's just going for it? I mean, is this guy just, is he really just, he's auto, any suited queen, anything that is, he's just in it. He's just literally like, look, I'm gonna try to win every chip on the table before anyone gets knocked out. And we're just gonna attack. And Barack, another very frustrating spot, right? This is like all of a sudden ace 10. It's like if he's folding ace queen, similarly, it's a little different positions, but ace 10 there is going to go in the bin. And there it is. The runaway train has been initiated, and Elio with kings going to find himself against, it looks like.
I didn't know it was this easy, Jeff. I'm just going to remember this next time I have a chip lead. Just if I have anything, just 3-bet mid stacks. Let's see how it works out.
Well, middle upper, the 2-3, the top stacks. He's just absolutely attacking.
Let's just go for it.
We someone's.
You just need one big card. You need one big card, and if it's not an ace, probably suited. That's it.
Yeah. We're
Ooh, this is sub 20 bigs. Here we're gonna get our first all in.
First all in, potential first elimination. Either way, the player.
Wait, are they both? They're both your players. Yeah.
10 million is on the line right here, and there is a sweaty board. See a river if anything changes. At the moment, Elio has the best hand, and it is. Ooh, is that no? Is it?
No,
that is super.
It's an 8.
Wow, look at your peels. That is a
nines are four spots, so it could have been a 9.
Yes, there you go. You're right. That's a 3-spotter, and we've got a first knockout. Mr. Fox takes out that shark there. Libra is out. Nice result. Nice to make a final table in a circuit event for a big prize pool. I know you wanted more there. Gonna add to that goose egg on Super Millions earnings. Hopefully see you back. Appreciate coming in today. And there we are. 8-handed. Elio Fox, 10 mil. 10 mil up with the 7 deuce off. Is he feeling it right after the win? Do we see usually polarizing play in this? The small blind, big blind, right? Where the big blind raises their worst hands and checks back some of their middling hands. But here, 7 deuce, the worst hand in the game, does check back. Anatoly, king 7 suited, does go ahead and check himself. And we did pick, guys. They're asking about, first of all, the Narnia background. I do see they're saying careful of snow. It is really snowing. It's wintertime, man. We're in December. It's the winter circuit event here. Bracelets, not to be awarded, but rings, circuit rings, also jewelry, also in the mail. Also via online. There's a lot to be played for over this series. We have December 4 to January 9. And again, Brian Rast joins me today. He's been on before. He here again. He does a lot of stuff. Rast, I mean, content wise, you're not the most active, but I keep you busy. Podcast, this, Coin Rivet, this. I mean, we're in some action.
I like that this is a ring. I feel like, especially because WSOP is getting very involved online. I don't know. I mean, I'm biased, but like, I kind of feel, there's a very long tradition going back, 30, 40 years of the WSOP bracelets live. You want to do a WSOP Europe. Okay, that's cool. Even though it doesn't get quite as many people as the Vegas events, great. But I feel like should be some separation, maybe. And so doing rings or something different for the online, I don't know. I like it, at least. That like this is a ring, and so it's a little bit different. I feel like rather than just having everything be a bracelet for every event that the WSOP does. I don't know, just one man's opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I'm with you on that. It is cool. It's cool it's also, look at the turnout. I mean, he's 150 million guaranteed over the course of this series. It's pretty juicy for online. I mean, there's a lot of action, a lot of big ones, some highlight marquee events. We covered the mystery bounty, the main event. And of course, the Super Millions will be hefty prizes over the next month. So looking forward to doing those. We are still 8-handed, lost 1, so we are at 9 for a while. It took about an hour. Kind of wild. It took an hour to lose 1 player, but of course the blinds are up, the stack sizes consolidate, and things get moving. So a lot of play left. And
I'm going to answer this guy's question. I do support Brazil. I've known my wife. We just had our 11-year anniversary. We've been together almost 13 years since I met her in January. You know, we have a place in Rio. I go to Brazil every year. Now that we have a place, I'm going to start being there probably a couple months out of the year. I speak Portuguese. So yeah, it's great. At least for World Cup purposes, I got to adopt, a second country. And they have a really exciting team. And but I love Brazil. If any of you guys get a chance, great spot to go. The weather is great. I mean, I can recommend Rio de Janeiro. I know Jeff is much more familiar with a different section of Brazil that's also beautiful. Huge country, a lot of places to go. The food is great. The people are actually, super friendly, and weather's good, beaches are good. If you happen to be a man, a lot of attractive women down there. So I don't know, just great spot to go. Take a vacation, check it out. At least this World Cup, I was doing the US and Brazil, watching all the games. Obviously the US went out, pretty disappointing final match versus the Netherlands. But I'd say at this point, I think Brazil, looking at the odds on Pinnacle, they're the favorite. It makes sense. They're going to have probably the softest. I think Croatia might be the worst team that's still in. And Brazil, very good. They're like 3 or 4 to 1 favorites against Croatia. I think they have a great route. Their team is awesome. Their defense, obviously their offense is quite good, but their defense is a bit underrated. They're usually not known for their defense. Brazil's defense this year is no joke.
Yeah,
they had 0 shots on target in the first 2 games.
Well, look, I got to tell you what's not on target for Elio. Yeah. He's betting the queen high flush into the nut flush. The board is paired. Barack deciding, does he want to check raise or just call? Certainly not folding. Gets the close to pot size bet, really large bet here, but really nice check back from Elio on the turn. He potentially is going to lose a lot less chips. He did check back the flush when he made it. So interesting hand all around. But Barack, I don't know if he's just considering if, he's going to go for it.
I like this from a can combination standpoint. It is hard for Elio to have full houses. You have an ace yourself, right? There aren't that many combinations, right? Like 5-10. He probably doesn't have any combos of 5-10. So you're talking like 5-4 suited, 4s, 10s, aces, ace 5, but you have an ace. So, you're beating everything else. So, I like that play by Wizbrod. Got value.
Yeah, it's a nice hand. We got some, you talk politics, talk World Cup countries. We got some people responding. Did you say Croatia is the worst team left? We got second in the last World Cup, which is true. And they said you will be dancing in Rio with Neymar next week. But yeah, obviously it's different.
Okay, maybe they're better than Morocco. Okay, I'm not talking about the teams that are playing today, but look at all the other teams. We got Netherlands, France, England, and Argentina. The only team I think you could argue out of them would be Netherlands, and I'd probably take Netherlands over Croatia this year. Croatia, listen, I'm not like a super football expert, but my understanding, having studied a lot this World Cup, looking at the odds, everything, the Croatia team is aging. Some of their best players are in their late 30s. I just don't think it's their year this year. We'll see. I think Brazil's going to smack them around, winning by at least 2 goals. Pow, pow. See you later, Croatia.
It could be a smackdown. Korea got a tough game. The last one, they really came out blazing 4-0. I gotta say, interesting. I didn't know Ronaldo was benched today. Is that true? Or not starting at least? Did you see that? Kind of wild. The coach did a little bit of falling out with the coach. He said something when he got pulled off in the 65
Oh, really?
minute, and like they're up 2-0 at the half. I just got the score report, but yeah, I don't believe Ronaldo's playing it.
Portugal's winning 2-0 against Switzerland.
I believe so.
Ooh.
at the half, but I just saw the score. Don't have
Oh, yeah,
the
you're
game
right.
up. Anyone watching? And I'd be curious. It's a wild play. Like Ronaldo kind of just like bounced out of Man United, right? Like just kind of rolled out and like kind of in big fashion in a big storm. And now like during the World Cup, I mean, if he's actually like protesting or fighting with the coach and not playing in the quarter, or I guess yeah, what's the round of 16. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But
this
anyway.
is like their best. This is a great performance by them, though. Up 2-0 on Switzerland at the halftime, like without Ronaldo. Also, I mean, maybe they're playing their best soccer without him. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, yeah. Switzerland's defense is no joke, man. Like they have a good defense. Scoring 2 goals on them in the first half is wow.
Yeah, it's strong. Just like Mike's hand here. Queens again for the man, the ladies. Shout out to Sarah. She's watching. I'm sure she is. And we wish Mike luck. Appreciate him coming on as a commentator recently. He's also been on my podcast. If you guys want to know more about Mike and Natalia as well. So check those out. Great players, great guys. And they are, they find themselves here often. They just find themselves at these big final tables. Great players do that. They show up, they create chances for themselves, and they get deep and good things happen. Radoja also got really unlucky that when he flopped the straight to chop with one to come. I think he averted danger as well with ace queen to kings maybe another time. So he's shown some ability to maneuver on a short stack and stick around. And interesting to Karankas, he did pass that spot, right? We want to monitor how he performs because he would have been flipping to be out 9th. He's already up to 8th, and he has chipped up a little bit since that spot. And look at Elio. Elio's in here with less than 3 million himself. So if he doesn't win this pot, he will be in trouble. Although I think he's very aware, right, of Alex Panakov's ranges, how wide he is, and to defend 10-8 flop mid pair here. I don't think we're going to see him getting off of this hand, at least for the time being. So we do see a check raise, interestingly enough. Nice. Picks it up. Well played by Elio. Back up to 5 mil. No longer in shortest stack territory. Anyone impressed you so far? Barak kind of quietly up to 14 million again. He was sort of down to 8. He's been aggressive overall.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Panakov's aggression has been pretty impressive. I mean, a bunch of guys seems like they've made just very solid, good decisions, like Mike Watson, Wizbrod. Radoja had what ended up being a really nice fold of the ace queen off in a spot where had he 4-bet jammed, he would have ran into kings. So far it kind of seems like, and it makes sense, no one else, Panakov's has been the runaway freight train with the aggression, and really nobody else has stepped up to really try to win a bunch of pots. But at some point that'll probably change, right? I mean, usually you don't just get like wire to wire chip leader, just running away. Sometimes you do though. So I mean, if he hasn't really been able to crack the 20 million, right? He's kind of been going between like 16 and 20. But if he starts going north of 20, and then it kind of becomes a race. Like we said, with these payouts, I mean, getting 3rd or 2nd is like awesome at this point. So there is a lot of incentive if Panakov starts running away with it, to just kind of let him do it and just go for 2nd and try to win heads up. So, which is probably part of the reason why Panakov's is playing as kind of balls out as he is because he's probably thinking that that'll be the case. And right now he's in a spot where maybe if he can run anywhere with it. But.
Wow, look at this shove. Ace jack off, just takes it and puts it in to a blender situation. And this is one of the merits for doing such an out of line aggressive play, is you put a hand like ace queen in a very difficult situation. Now, ace queen suited, you're really starting to get on the fringe of like, can you fold? But again, 8 left. Look at the shorter stacks. Elio, Mark, Karenkas. Do you want to really call it off here? Your opponent just shows you ace king or even two twos. Like you're flipping. You don't want to flip. If you're Anatoly, this would be one of the best case scenarios to have a hand like king queen or ace jack dominated. And you can't really think this is like a normal play, right? Most people are not just ripping ace jack off here for all the chips. Anatoly using time bake, he is considering all options, and it is, damn, man. I'll tell you what, he knows how to go for it though himself. He is not afraid. But man, look, Rast, 178. If you get second somehow, it's 845. We're talking real money to click a button and be at risk here. I just man, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we can see there's two guys who have around 10 blinds. So going out here sucks. This is a big hand. It's a tough spot.
He just wrote in the chat. He wrote in the chat FCK ICM, and then he said sucks. So I was thinking maybe he was saying F it. But yeah, man, I mean, that would just be quite a call. What a play. 14.5 million now for Barack, who really, to me, I would say has been the most sort of impressive and standout. He did make the fold with ace queen off. He also took the chance with jacks, right? Which it wasn't like the craziest play ever, but put it on the line. He made a tight fold, and he's also been kind of he's been battling, right? He's been in there. He's been in there and entangling with Alex Panakovs, and definitely feels willing and able. That ace jack off shove, that is a big play. I mean, that is a ballsy play there to risk half your stack on that. And really nice execution. And as we see why it's so effective, getting a better hand to fold, as good as ace queen suited. Wow. And Panakovs, I mean, the guy ate his Wheaties today. Ace deuce off. We saw him do the queen nine suited, 45-minute delay. Maybe got to see getting the ace four suited to this. This would not work against the ace king off, but is he absolutely going for every single spot? I mean, he's not throwing at a dartboard. Maybe it's just like automatically, if someone raises and I have any type of hand that's viable, I'm ripping it. And, again, bow, gotta feel good with ace king, just too good to not play it. But what does he do with ace jack? What does he do with ace queen? What does he do with 2 sevens? 8-handed, and we see a distribution of not much quality hands here. 8-9 chip leader into a 9 million stack in the small blind and the big blind of Mark Radoja. He does go for the min raise. Snap fold from Radoja. You missed who's buying dinner. What up, Andrew? Good to see you. We have not decided on that. We are going to see who wins the tournament. We have 4 guys a piece. You guys are sweating for a bonus. It's going to be a $50 giveaway ticket at the end of the show for GG, and it could be 100. If you don't have a jurisdiction where you can play GG, don't worry. You could always give it to a friend, get their username, or split it with them, gift them. It's the holiday season after all. But yeah, please hit that thumbs up button and then be standby for a giveaway keyword to be eligible for that at the end of the show. All right, king 8 suited, ace queen. Both players having some connection with the board. This is where you can talk yourself into getting sticky when you flop a modest hand versus a big stack. One of the tough reasons why playing versus the chip leader is so difficult, especially someone who's so aggressive, because they just could literally have 7 high here, or they can have a very strong hand such as the ace queen. Big size from Anatoly. I mean, can he really stick on here? No, you just can't, right? Yeah, this is another ace king suited tier 1 getting handed out. 8-handed. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hour and 15 or so in, and we're gonna play to a winner today. That's right. That prize is correct. That is a one table remaining, the final table, 1,095,000 up top. Get one guaranteed 178,000 at this point. This is the Super Millions weekly show, special edition World Series of Poker circuit event, and we have many more to come throughout this. I gotta say, Rast, those days we went to Mexico. We were going around. We were having some fun. It's fun to play online. I enjoy it. Live is fun, but also being able to play multiple tables, kind of hang out, relax, and from the comfort of your own home, try to win some titles, some jewelry, and some prize money is always fun too. If you had to pick in the course of your peak online versus peak playing live, what would you say you prefer more? The grind, the online grind, or sort of the live World Series grind?
I think I enjoy playing live more. I mean, you can't beat the feeling of being at a big final table live. Online's not quite the same thing in your house as with the cameras, the whole card cams, the audience. Plus, I also enjoy watching people live and getting reads. I mean, it's definitely part of the game. But you know, I mean, playing online does have its benefits, right? Like it can be nice just staying at your place, playing a few hours, and then doing something else. Live is a lot more of a commitment, but you know, I prefer live.
Yeah. Yeah. They're both so unique, so different. And I definitely think it's interesting to take like a great poker player and see what they're better at or what they focus on. Obviously, some players are much more online geared and some prefer the live grind more. And then there's a crossover to both, like Michael Watson, for example, Mark Radosh, Anatoly Filatov. I know they dip in Panakovs, right? These guys dip in a lot. You do see some guys that are just strictly, 95% online or vice versa. But yeah, there are those that can just sort of do both extremely well. And of course, the skill sets are very similar, right? There's a lot of crossover. A lot of the same attributes are relevant, but yeah, definitely different in their own respects.
I mean, yeah, mostly the same, of course, but I think, well, I mean, I think live is wider because you basically have a person physically in order to try to get reads off of that you don't have online. Online does allow you to play multiple tables, depending on, I guess, what website. I mean, I'm not really sure, but I probably some form of HUDs and certain things are legal in some places. I'm not really sure, but like poker tracker stuff, like is that legal on most sites or not legal on most sites, or what's even the terms of service for that stuff anymore?
The HUD that's a good question. I know there were some changes on different platforms. I think on, I haven't streamed or played the online grind. I haven't used HUDs for many years, so I actually don't know yeah, obviously you can see on GG, right? There is the basic sort of HUD, right? They show you kind of hands and the percentage there, that the number you see 1731 for Panakovs. There's some basic HUD information, but the detailed poker tracker or whatever the other options are, I don't know which sites they're allowed to be on currently. If anyone is grinding across the board, if they can let us know.
Oh, here we got Panakovs finally has a hand. Now he's going to be 3-betting. And we have to see, so far, Wisprad has just let it all go. He has let it go. Ace 10 off in the bin, ace queen off in the bin. Will he do the same thing with ace jack off? This is the exact same spot where last time he folded ace 10 off. Slightly stronger this time. What will he decide to do? This is a bad spot for him. He's up against aces.
Yeah, we could see like 4.5 or something too, or 4.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be absurd for him to 4-bet at all. It would be like, wow, okay, so he folded this time. He'll be very happy with the discipline.
Nice discipline. He also is he's in a completely different scenario now, right? He's got 14.5. He is super healthy. He is cruising. So really nice discipline. I'm impressed overall, like how his game plan's been and what he's come up with, pretty much making the right decisions. The ace queen offsuit fold was similar, right? Just decides, hey, I'm not going to take a big risk, or I can be wrong, right? If I get bluffed in one hand and lose 2 blinds, it's not the end of the world.
Well, ace 10 suited here for 8.5 bigs. I mean, figure you're getting called quite a bit, but I mean, there's a big overlay here. I mean, we're talking 450, 700K in the blinds and antes. You don't decides to pass.
Well, as it stands, he would have been in a almost locked up position if he's 9-8 suited for 8.5. Probably not even, but either way, that ace 10 suited would have been pretty strong hammer lock on the hand, however it was played, whether he took it down or soft 5, but ace 9, I don't think would have looked up in the big blind, obviously. So yeah, that was maybe a missed opportunity. Of course, you can see the whole cards and not so easy just to rip it in, but you're getting short, Rast. Is that, would you think you would have gone there? Is that ace 10 suited? Was that your?
I think so. I think I put in ace 10 suited there. 8.5 big blinds. I mean, like it's gotta be, it's gotta be plus chip EV for sure. It's hard to, like, that guy's range would have to be insanely tight for it not to be with that 700K overlay. And is it enough chip EV? I mean, yeah, it's nice staying in. There is another guy who's as short as you, but other than the one guy that's as short as you, now everybody else is at least double your stack, if not triple almost. So, you can't just keep folding forever, just to get one more pay jump. I would guess, I think I would have gone with it. I don't know. What about you?
I actually, based on this, I think Bao has been just aggressive enough as well. I do think he's shown, like, if you're watching the stream on delay and maybe you've picked up on his ace 4 suited, his ace, whatever. He's opened numerous hands that have not been super premium. So I think we do that. And look at this, the ace 4 suited, gonna just go ahead and take it to the max, 22.7 million. We are really seeing some separation here for Panakovs. He is gonna fold the king 6 off. Bao has got 9s in the small blind, 10-8 suited for Barak. Interesting. This is a very strong holding blind on blind. Just call. Probably gonna implement almost a full limp strategy here with the stack dynamics and the table stacks. Pretty great flop. Great flop. The ace, not so worried about in this scenario, and have the ace 8-4 rainbow 9s clearly feeling comfortable. You are out of position though. And Barak just gonna call.
Yeah, no, 30 big blinds. Looking it up, it looks like, from what I'm looking at, it's about 2-1 call to limp. Although what I'm looking at for 30 blinds likes pure raising pocket 9s, basically. So interesting decision.
And we see the clubs, backdoor clubs, come run off with 2 street hand. Bao does get a second bet in, and now, 3 million in the pot. He's got 9 million here. Does he really
Did he bet the flop? Did he bet the flop as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Three barreling this seems very ambitious.
Wow.
Going for small sizings the whole way though. And so we can see it was very ambitious because, basically pretty close to the next worst hand below you folded. So when you're value betting at whatever size, and essentially the hand right under you on the hand raking class folds, your value bet is ambitious. I do think 3 streeting 9s there is tough. And even though he was doing small sizings, it wasn't like tiny sizings. It wasn't like a block bet, right? It was third pot. So.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. There is, so I see in the chat, they say that Ronaldo's replacement got his second goal. And here we go. King, queen to ace, jack. And ace, jack is in for a potential doubles. Got the best hand going to the
only a king or a queen.
That is it. No paint. He is going to be safe. It is clean. It is 5.2 mil. And Karenkis was really looking for that jump, right? He would have got about 100,000 locked up by folding that ace queen suited. As it stands, though, he's sub 2 million. Blinds are up to 175, 350. He is critically short, and sort of what we talked about, Rast. That hand, right? Even if you ladder 1 or 2 spots, it's sort of like, that's like, maybe that was the moment, right? That's something to look at. The ace queen suited, was it too good to pass? Let's see how it shakes out for our friend, but a lot of to play for still. You hear that, Rast? Second second goal for Ronaldo's replacement. That's pretty.
He also got the first goal of the game, the 1-0, the most important goal, the goal to go from 0-0 to 1-0. So Portugal's not exactly getting punished for sitting him. And here we go, ace queen suited versus ace king off. Tough spot for Elio. Don't blame him. He had like sub 15 blinds, like 13 blinds or something. We're down to 2 outs, just a queen, not a diamond. And it's not paint.
Not a queen or a diamond, and it is diamond wouldn't have done it, but he needed 9 queen diamond. That starts getting pretty specific, and it is going to be a big hand for Bao, who finds himself in second now, 17 mil, just under the Panakov's 20 million. So big moment there, big knockout, talented player goes to the rail. We are down to 7 places.
You're down to 2 guys. You've got the chip leader and Anatoly.
It's tough out there. We talked about Super Millions wins. Alex Panakovs has won season 2 before. We have Anatoly Filatov, who has won in season 1 and 2. So he has 2 titles, and no one else does have a Super Millions title, if I'm not mistaken. So that is going to be the 2 players that are eligible to add to their tally. Everyone else going for a first title, also adding a circuit ring if you win today. And there's Elio Fox looking all smiles, as his photo implies. Another 6-figure score to add to the impressive resume. We are again 7-handed here. Ace Jack suited picks up some equity, and Anatoly with Ace King of clubs. Does he get the pressure put on?
Ooh.
He doesn't. The realized equity comes in, and man, that's troublesome for Anatoly. You would probably think a lot of your opponent's diamond draws would continue telling his story. So this is even more reason why maybe he thinks he's going to have the best hand here. Ace King suited beats all
Hey, can
non-pairs.
you brief action update? Was there a flop bet turn check? Was that it?
It was turn check, yes. But
who bet the flop?
I believe I don't, because I was rattling off. I was looking at who's won Super Millions before on the sheet, and I did miss the flop action. But yeah, this is going to be
definitely value bet. What sizing?
Pretty nice with 3.7 in the million to have the nuts
going
on the river.
2/3 pot, and then just doesn't make a meal out of it. Just lets it go pretty quickly.
Wow, this guy's got, Ramos, they said, has 2 goals and assists, then Ronaldo on the next Ryanair. But I mean, Ronaldo, just the aces are getting passed out right now, Rasty, and the short stack, what a moment. He's going to get to shove, and I guess actually he doesn't have any fold equity. So they're going to be seeing 5 here. Let's see if Queen 8 suited can make it interesting for aces, who's been patient, 4.4 mil in, and it is pretty safe. Pretty safe, never always safe. Turn action at 10% is kind of wild.
We need the 4 side.
It's
not a 4 side.
Running king. So man, well, that is a double up. Everyone who is short isn't loving it. There's now Mike Watts in Radoja. There's 4 guys, very, very peculiar positions. And Ace Queen, is he just going to get to tack on to his momentum here and pick up about 800K? It looks like so. I don't see an opponent, a formidable opponent behind here. Oh,
Portugal looks like a contender.
Their squad, looking at the strength all around, their team looked really strong. Like they're looking at the resume, the roster at the start of the tournament. I think Brazil's second team would be like a favorite to make a run in the World Cup. Like they'd probably win a lot of groups. Their second team. That's how good Brazil is at deep wise as well. But Neymar's back, they're healthy, and Mike Watson looking to resurrect himself into the tournament as well with the jacks. He's been getting like huge pairs with opens and action in front of him. He's had aces, he's had queens twice, he's had jacks, but he's also had a couple tough hands in situations where he just couldn't activate himself into kind of run away. He's been sort of in this 8 million range, 6 million. He was just down to, chipped up a bit, and Panakovs was at 22, he's at 19.
Technically not the chip leader for maybe the first hand of the tournament. Val technically the chip leader on this one, although should he win this pot, he will return. So lost the chip lead for only one hand.
Yeah, some big stacks though, which in fact makes some short stacks, as we see. There are a few. There's about 3, sort of sub 5, and then Mike's sort of hanging out now in that 8 and 10 club.
6 off here. Little bit uncomfortable. It looks like it's what? That's like 12, 13 blinds. How's it going to navigate it? Wow, he's going with the fold.
Opt out has been selected, and there's 20 mil back for Panakovs, and got a little separation, not much, about tied with Bao, who has played a nice game plan, held ace king versus ace queen suited. Big pop for him, and now he is sitting comfortably with Panakovs, sort of in the driver's seat here, and Korenkas is, yeah,
that's a tight. Let's say again, we've seen Korenkas is very like as the ICM. He likes the ICM. He likes playing tighter. He's so far very consistently shown tight adjustments. I mean, at 13 blinds, I'm pretty sure you can probably plus EV shove any king. So folding king 6 off, definitely starting to get pretty tight. We could see he would have picked that pot up, by the way. So let's see what he does with 3s here. 3s again, certainly has to be a plus EV jam. Okay, so this one he does take and gonna pick up the pot. 13 blinds in the cutoff. Obviously, I think any pair qualifies there. But you know what? I mean, I'm almost thinking it's like, would I rather shove 3s in the cutoff or king 6 off in the small blind, right? It's like king 6 in the small blind, you only have to get through the big blind. Yeah, you get called some, but like it feel pretty close actually in AV terms there.
Doja with a slight pause, holding his breath before potentially at risk for his life, up to 5 mil, right tied with Anatoly and Korenkas. So really a 3-way battle here. So, you know, look, if you're Korenkas, we could go on the other side of the argument, folds ace queen suited, would have been against jacks, but now he is 7-handed, and there's 2 other stacks where he's like dead tied with, right?
Ooh, so, look at this.
Hello.
Wow, this pot has the potential. Unfortunately, Bao is going, this is one of those spots where being out of position ends up being costing you quite a bit in terms of being able to inflate the pot. How will Panakovs play? It's a flop that favors his range, but he has a hand that probably doesn't want to bet 3 streets. And Bao here versus the 3rd pot sizing, it's going to decide whether to slow play or raise. I'm pretty sure with an 8 and a backdoor flush draw, this gets floated. Top pair, gutter, backdoor flush draw, probably too much. They're very deep. The 8 is a little bit dicier than the 9, but yeah, ends up calling total brick. This is the spot where if Bao goes ahead and bets, you can't. I think you can see Panakovs maybe folding, yeah, especially if we're going half pot or more. Again, it would be a tight fold, but we're talking a tournament, the 2 chip leaders. You know, you call here, you lose this pot, you drop way back into the ranks. Yeah, ooh, this is 85%. Yes, snaps.
Yeah, really draw heavy board with the backdoor flush draw coming in. Of course, queen king, some other straight draws. Basically, effectively, almost the nuts there. Although we saw the jack 8 suited, Panakovs, not impossible to have the straight, although that would be pretty insane. And still has outs to that. Bao is ready to go to bat with that. He has now got about almost 22 million. He's got deuces and 22 mil. Pretty nice situation to be at, 7-handed, playing for a circuit title, Milski plus up top. And what does he do here? 10 million, 4 million. Just gonna min raise, and Korenkas with that ace 9 off here against the chip leader, one of the short stacks. Do you want to risk it? It's kind of feels like time. Although we did see him flat multi-way ace 9 off. It's a little different juncture of the tournament and situation. Ace 9 off can kind of believe you're gonna have the best hand the majority of the time, and as we see, he does just call, hits the 9 now. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the standard play there would be to jam, right? Against the chip leader on the button, who's, I mean, listen, it's very solidly plus chip EV. You have a nice blocker. You're not even doing that badly when called, although you obviously don't want to be called. I think I like jamming. You avoid playing out of position pots against somebody who is going to very comfortably put you in a lot of bad situations. You get to take the pot down a lot. And I mean, it's like jamming ace 9 off there versus a button open is not close. It's like super solidly plus EV. So I mean, I think it's one of those spots where, you know, I would just take it and play it the standard way. But Kornikis plays it this way, and it looks like probably just going to get a showdown. Probably deuces does not bluff here, but might. I mean, it wouldn't be absurd. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see a bluff there. It would be a very hard spot to call, but yeah, ace 9, well played. 6.7 million. Karenkis emerges out of the depths. He is in the ball game for sure, and we are see Mr. Sir Watts open up and keep his stack at 8 million through the blinds, or into the big blind, I should say. King queen on the button. 8's playable hands here. Ace jack off. Lock it happen. I guess Mark probably just gonna, let's see how many chips he's actually got enough to raise. He does raise.
Kornikis folding the king queen off there. It's right in line with his style. And then Watson, the decision here, goes with call. Going to respect the tightness of Radoja's range. And Watson now with another decision, I guess. I mean, ace jack is starting to be one of the best hands he can have. You know, there's a lot in there. It's close to good enough to just like check raise. Yeah, he's deciding he wants to just play for stacks right away. And I think 8s, especially with no club, hard to see it continue there.
Yep. Well, 9.
Too few outs to improve when you're behind. It's really kind of one of the problems with it.
Yeah, Anatoly gonna raise commit. Let me talk about this, Rast. The 2.5 million, like basically half his stack all in. What's the merit to do that? It's enough to like, it's basically a committing raise, but if there's 2 all-ins behind you, why do you see players do that? To go not all in, but like most of their stack all in?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. It does give you the option if it's like multiple all-ins behind you of getting away, whereas you're putting so many chips that you're discouraging any calls and taking the pot down a lot. I was curious just to see that he chose that, given that, you know, he had 13, 14 blinds, right? Under the gun 7. So definitely kind of, I feel like an interesting decision to do that as opposed to open, but.
Wow. I mean, can we talk about the swings of what's going on in Cristiano Ronaldo's career right now? Like, the guy's obviously a legend, but his replacement has 3 goals.
A hat trick.
It's 5-1. And they have a hat trick for the guy who replaced Ronaldo. He's one of the greats of all time, who's kind of thrown, I guess, looks like he was having disagreement with the coach, or said like, I can't believe he took me off or whatever. But like, man, yeah, I don't know the exact situation, but that's kind of I don't know, that's kind of wild, right? Like this seems like the behavior, like to you know, to put on, and now he's got a problem with his club and country manager and situation. That's it's a bit intense.
I mean, his country manager couldn't have gotten more instant validation for his player decision there. The guy he replaced him with just got a hat trick in the first game. I mean, wild.
It's pretty intense, but well, ace king 8 here in the big blind for less than 10, but yeah, ace 10 going to take it down. Mark just sort of figuring it out, sticking in there. He raises eights, doesn't get it all in. He's back to 4 million, still in the game. Anatoly also at 4.8 million. Neither of those players have really quite gotten it going today, but they're in, and we're still 7-handed. 2 big stacks right now, a couple 10 mil stacks, and then a couple shorter stacks, we should say. That's sort of the landscape here. And Bao with the ace 4 off, chip lead, can definitely lean here. He does go for almost I guess a 3.5 or close to 4x big raise. 8-9
Yeah.
playable hand for Barack, but don't really want to get involved here. You know what your opponent's up to, but you still have 9-8 high offsuit.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. I mean, it looks like he is respecting some ICM there. I would imagine you defend 9-8 off there versus the 3.5x normally. In position, blind versus blind, with all the overlay with the antes and all that. But you know, with 3 short stacks that are, you know, 12 big blinds or less or whatever, it does make sense that, you know, 9 million now, which is, you know, it's in the middle of the pack, but it's probably slightly below average. Kind of makes sense that yeah, let's pass up those kind of dicey, gambly spots and try to ladder up a little bit here. Sometimes playing these contested pots where, you know, with 9-8 off versus the range, like he probably, yeah, he's in position. Does he even win the pot half the time? I don't know. Decides to pass it up. I do think there are people that would play that hand for what it's worth. That was an interesting decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Now getting some cards.
Yeah, some Bao getting unleashed here. These are always curious. These are hard decisions to play.
2.5x, and Watson just lets the 7s go. 25 blinds.
Similar situation here. A couple ace jacks and 8s, and Bao with the chip lead, 7-handed, first to act. Certainly gonna be playing. Barack, don't envy this position. A lot of players behind, difficult hand, just gets out of the way. I like that. In Radoja versus the chip leader, his range, he's shown the propensity to open fairly wide. Now he's got even newfound chips. This might just be too good, although, you know, hey, you don't.
Yeah,
really
I really don't blame him for it. Yes, there's no fold equity, but you know, looks like the chip leader's opening a lot. And I mean, listen, Radoja had 8 blinds, is it? You know, I mean, he's significantly below the other 2 short stacks now, who are both over 5 million. So makes a lot of sense he decided to go with it there. They end up chopping. Ooh, hello. Kings in the big blind.
Does Ponikov's just automatically open the jack 10 off? I think with that stack size situation, the chip leader in the big blind, yes. But again, Bao, good timing, getting a very premium hand, had aces before in a spot, made a huge raise. Let's see if he goes for, again, you know, really big, maybe 3 million here, something a deterrent to Alex, 3.6 even. He's really just like, hey man, don't mess with me on this. Like we're good. We're good 1-2. I don't need any violence. I'm just gonna chip up peacefully. 22, you stick in second, and we'll keep going. But no cute flat, no small 3-bet, just business, real business.
Queen jack off here, off of 9 blinds. It's jamming, and I think Wizbroad probably has to call this here. Ace nine suited. I mean, also getting a whole big blind discount. Yep.
He's gonna call. He's gonna be in a real fight. It's a fair fight, and it is a spicy one.
Ooh.
Got the overcard. Oh, paint, but not a queen or jack. Needs a jack, queen, or 10, or we will have lost a player, and it is
Nope.
not any of it. It's a two-sider. That is low. It's a 5, and we are down to 6 players, and a 9 from Anatoly. A couple of cards get shown for random reasons. No one knows. Sometimes people do that just for what it is. And there it is, the very impressive resume, number 18 in the Super Millions. Mark Radoja, also 2 bracelet winner, 8,213,000 Super Millions alone, 2.245. Going to add to that tally as we are down to 6. Pick up sticks, Rast. It's time to move. It's time. You know, your corner cost, that ace queen suited, you're starting to borderline genius, right? Oh, six left. I've got 299 locked up, 300. I could have been out for 137. So he's, I'd say like 5th or better. It's like you could say that the fold, he could really be like, yeah, that was really smart. Obviously results oriented. You know, if you were to plug it in, is it the right fold? We don't know, but he'll be happy that he is in the game 6-handed with some playability and a couple other short stacks to tango with. Ace 8 off. Is it time? Is it enough? I think so, right? It's 13. It's just the right situation. Panikov snap fold, queen 10 suited. Not a hand to call off with, but little show, little let him know, boys, not messing around fully. Got the ace. No one here with the really strong hands. Panikov still with the 2 shorter stacks. Does he get to just kind of keep putting the pressure on here? There's the min raise. Anatoly.
Yeah, he does get to kind of keep putting it on. You know, I think Anatoly probably defends this. Yeah. Of course, nice playable hand. I mean, yeah, there's some ICM, but got to win some chips too. Can't just pass this up in the big blind. No, Panikov's. This seems like a reasonable hand to start stabbing. Now, Filatov with almost 3 million in there could just ship it, but doesn't. Goes with the check call.
Yeah, part of this too, there's scenarios where his opponent does check back turn. He has a chance to win it again. Although the stack to pot ratio is 1, it's sort of like
this is a hand that might barrel here. I mean, he picked up some equity and he has very like no showdown. I mean, if for whatever reason Jack high was good, your opponent's bluffing the river. Oh wow. Wow, just over pot, shove all in. And this is what we see when you decide just to try to realize with the 8-9 there. Very good draw, open-ended, 2 overs to the 7 and 6 plus backdoor diamonds. You get blown off the equity by just a total 0 EV hand. You know, so it's interesting.
Big moment here. Ace Jack, Ace 7 off. So the chip leader is behind, needs a river, or else Anatoly going to be doubled up to 8.2. And he does get the hold. That is not a chop as the jack plays 3 pairs on the river, but that is going to make things a little bit different, going to tighten things up, and a dangerous player gets a hold of some chips. Rocking that Turkish flag there, I believe. And Anatoly, although he's from Russia, he is a member of GG and a world-class player, does some streaming and content at times as well. You guys can give him a follow. A lot of these guys.
You definitely needed that one. If you got the bad beat on that one, you would have been in trouble. 1 guy left and would have had 3 guys. I believe I have 39 million in chips right now, and you have, it looks like 27 between the 2 guys. Oh, ooh, 8s with the flat. Pretty nice flop for 8s. About as good as you could hope for without flopping a set.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like you don't want to just give free overs here to hands like Mike Watson's. Yeah, so nice bet by Bao. Takes it down.
Yeah, coming up on 2 hours in. Appreciate everyone joining. Let us know where you're watching from. We welcome you to chat, to enjoy, to engage, to hit that thumbs up. Really doesn't mean a lot. We appreciate it. Over 1,500 watching currently. This is my I don't even know, maybe 20, almost 30th show, 27th show. Been really enjoying the Super Millions, getting to see a lot of familiar faces, some new faces, and big purses as we see here. Another day of massive payouts going to go from a 10K buy-in. So really do appreciate that. Shout out to Buffalo, New York. See everyone in there. And again, if you hit the thumbs up, you'll be eligible for the giveaway, which will be a $50 or $100 GGPoker ticket. If you can't play in a jurisdiction or GG, you probably have a friend that can. So gift them, give them part of it, split it with them, do something, but have their GG username ready. Get that lined up. And at the end of the show, we will, about three-handed, four-handed, I'll announce the keyword and we will, we'll be giving that away. So Rast and I got our own little situation going here. How about the flat? King, queen off. He's been so aggressive. Different scenario now though, right? He's not just smashing, covering. He's actually, all right, let me play some poker.
Out of position. The one guy who covers him at the table goes with the flat. And everybody a little something, but Bao Deng essentially has this on lockdown. He can only lose this pot, I believe, with a Jack-10 run out. That's the only way.
Pretty specific. And if you're Alex Panakov's new flat and get the ace queen with no club in your hand, club board, this is pretty high up in the range. And especially against a chip leader that could have a wide variety of hands. He could get stuck on here a bit.
Yeah, for sure for the one bet. The turn is, if you face a double barrel here, is when you start to ask yourself some questions. I mean, you're not really beating value anymore at this point. Should Bao opt to bet here? Not saying Panakovs will fold, but it becomes a spot where, realistically speaking, I mean, it's hard to find value that you beat. For this size, does my opponent ever have Queen Jack? It's like the next worst hand, and is playing it this way, maybe, but doesn't ever have tens, so wouldn't be shocked to see a fold or a call. It's a tough spot, and it finds the fold, and it turns out he was right. Ooh, Wisbrod shows the ace to try to needle him.
Yeah, that was a really impressive fold for Panakov, showing the range that he's not just like barrel, understanding a different situation, different position, and different tactic. And honestly, that ace queen for sure with that size on the turn could have got stuck in there to make him peel one more. But again, the great players, they just seem to understand specifically where they're at, what's happening, and what the situation is. And he's in a healthy second, but yeah, he's respecting. Look, Bao got the chip lead, and hey, it's a different game right now. So Jack-8 suited, good enough, does open up. Thought about it, maybe thinking, could Anatoly or Mike shove? Do I want to be raising and folding? But he does pick it up, and he is up to 17.6. We'll see another hand, as no one has a face card six-handed, not even a jack out there. 10-7 suited in the big blind. Bao Deng actually folds, although he is the chip leader. He gives a walk in the small blind just with the absolute bottom of range, decides, hey, you know what, don't need to play every hand, although in theory I should be limping, but I'm just going to fold, move on. Still executing a great game plan. 23.5 million queens for Anatoly. Picks it up. Every pot's so important. The blinds and antes are huge as they're up again. 250K, 500K now. Karenikos down to 8.5 blinds. And Bao Deng with king, queen. Certainly going to be raising. Barak with a pair. Karenikos so short. He's ahead of 3 other stacks. Is this just the time to let it go? I think so.
Yeah, that reminds me, I think like a month ago, I just looked it up. Didn't realize it had been that long, but I remember this. Jason Kuhn tweeted, one thing that stands out to me in poker is that as you climb the stakes, there's a shift from the best players being overly aggro and taking every pot to the best players being much more defensive and protected. This also stands out to me watching esports and boxing. So, I mean, just the idea that, Panakov's in that spot. Yeah, he didn't win a pot by, being aggressive and taking it down, but he just folded on the turn, saved 1.6 million in chips. It's a significant amount of chips, 4 big blinds, starting to matter. So it's just, pretty cool to see good play is sometimes saving chips in spots as well, not always just winning pots, right? So, and here we can see he's going for it with the queen 8 suited, a nice little pick. He's got the backdoor flush draw wrapped around the 9, uses that as a candidate to aggressively check raise bluff on a board that's, he can have some big hands. He can have, 2 pairs where Bao can't. Gotta find some check raises on that board and finds a good candidate for it. So, if you're going to ask me whose place standing out right now is pretty good, I'd have to go with your guy, the number 1 pick. A lot of very fine hands played by him.
Yeah, it's just that he's just relentless. He just takes it, goes. Like, he really hasn't had a ton of premium hands. It's ace 4 off, it's queen 9 suited. It's just relentless. Just there's a lot of others in there too that were not even by any definition or stretch. Even the 4s, right? He put pressure on there with a 3-bet with 4s in a spot where most players, I don't think, make that play. Versus the early position, big stack kind of open and got the ace queen to fold. So really, obviously a great player, but been impressed today in particular with how he's played, and Bao as well, executing a great plan and has the chip lead currently with 6 left.
And it looks like the Portugal game is 5-1 in the 88th minute. So Portugal is going to go through and play Morocco. All right. Ooh. 11 blinds here. I think we see Watson stick this in. King Jack suited is good. He might, if he passes, it would be because of Kournikos' stack, I think. But yeah, he just decides. I mean, listen, he goes 5.5 million. Look, now he's got 7.5. I mean, you get that through, you add like 40% to your stack, So as nice as it is to stay alive, at some point, you need chips as well. I mean, one thing to keep in mind when we're talking about ICM and all this, yeah, it's true. Yeah, stay alive. But, you go out now 300. Maybe you extreme ladder up by playing super tight. You make that extra 87, 88K to get to 5th. But I mean, you win some chips. Even if you don't win, you come in 3rd. That's 652. That's more than double here. So it's kind of like, yeah, staying alive is great. But, even without trying to pick up enough chips to win, staying alive a little bit longer than just holding on to the guy who's lowest in chips is worth a lot. Right. Yeah. So like this tournament's worth a lot to ladder up, even if you're not winning the tournament. So yeah, I mean, winning chips is valuable, right? And not because you'll necessarily win, but because, if you win enough chips to stay alive and, chip up from here to like 4th. I mean, 4th is 500, 3,000. So yeah, it's not just about surviving one more spot. It's about maybe surviving a couple more.
Yeah, for sure. Well, 4 million, got a nice timely hand again. And here, ace 9 suited Panakas versus the chip leader. See how the strategy shifts. Does just call king 8 suited, going to welcome the king. Was behind king deuce deuce 2 spades. No player with a spade. King into the lead, checks it over, and Panakas, definitely better flops. Could be worse flops. He is obviously out flop, but it is. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Going to be interesting what he does here.
All right, take the helm, JG. I'll be right back.
All right, I got it. We have got a speeding. We have a bet, a big bet. Basically going to shake all but a king here. And even with the king, it's sort of uncomfortable. You lose to king jack suited, king queen suited, king 10 suited, ace king, but probably would have heard from ace king. not many deuces in your range, but don't see how he can fold. Although the sizing, we're talking about going to be 7 million in the pot with both players at like 16 and 18 million if he calls. So that is the case. No club turns, no additional equity available for Alex Panakovs. And now Bao Dang is in the prevent formation. He is just in the hold. He's sitting back, hoping his opponent slows down. Alex Panakovs. Can't imagine the no equity turn bet here. I don't think he goes for it. Blocks ace king, checks, won't hit the ace. King 8 is good. 7 million in the middle. Bao Deng just really hoping that his opponent just checks down. Does he ever throw out a blocker bet? Maybe. It's not, it seems like a reasonable bet. Make a small bet. Put like a hand such as 7s or 6s in a tough decision as it plays. He just checks. And again, I don't think the line will go bet, check, bet in this particular scenario. It still has 15.6. Chip leader now 25. But Panakovs realizes the value of chips. He's got still a healthy second lead, and Rast is back. So we saw a one barrel, one pump shot there from Alex Panakovs. Didn't go for it, and Bao Dang is going to take it up to 25 mil with the lead. The shove from Sir Watts gets it through. Six-handed, intense action here. Intense moments for the tournament. Every spot so valuable. Everything. Every chip matters, every pot matters, every jump matters. Big money.
These blinds have gone up significantly. I mean, Korinkos is about to pay 1.1, which is about, just these next two hands will be about 30% of his chips, approximately. So quite expensive, and he's probably not going to get to play this. Wizbrod, feel like has to probably have picked up on the fact that Korinkos is really tight. And yeah, probably just as an any 2 spot for him. Taking the 9-6 off. I would be surprised if he calls this, given the way he's played so far. Obviously, he has half as many chips as next, and the next shortest stack is the one shoving on him. So definitely would like to beat him. That said, Queen 2 off, pretty weak.
Yeah, six-handed. The hand ranges changing, of course, from 9 down to every time, but down to 6. So six-handed poker all of a sudden, and Queen Jack chip leader holds Q in the cutoff. That's a license to go. Panakovs, the 9-10 off. Korinkos, of course, folding, and 9-10 off here in this situation. Do you play out of position? He has enough chips, like 30-ish blinds, but it's an interesting spot. Kind of big implications going to a board here. Could be dominated, could get bluffed, could put yourself where your chips are at risk, and he's weighing the options. He knows that this is important time. Fold. Look at that. Note to self. We're 9-10 off. Are you aligned there? All right, just an open slam, open ram, ace queen pickup. Ace 4 suited, kinks. Bao certainly going to be playing in Barack with a huge pair. And he has got, I think, well, he's got enough chips to raise. He's still got 12 mil, so he does go for a smallish raise. And ace 4 suited Rast, you know what that is? That's one of those hands. That's one of those aggressive possible 4-bet maneuver spots. Ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited, one of the better bluffing sort of hands. You could definitely
this is a hand that we could see the pound, but he avoids it and would have ran into kings there. I just looked up that hand on Hold'em Resources, and sure enough, Queen Deuce off is a very solid fold there. Looks like the weakest offsuit queen versus a 90% small blind jamming range, which also includes 9-6 off, is queen 7 off for the viewers at home, according to Hold'em Resources.
Well, fives. Anatoly got this is a 5.5 blind jam. Anatoly has a half a blind out. His stack is vulnerable. 2 5s. Does he let this get through? I mean, he's going to be flipping a lot, but he also could see like ace, willow ace suited. He could see, yeah, this. I mean, this is like a pure flip.
Yeah, you also get to bust the lowest stack, right? When you win. Yeah, plus all the chips out there.
Well,
but nope.
The 9 is enough in this spot, and 8-9 suited is going to jump ahead now of Anatoly and Sir Watts. Mike Watts, Karenkas is wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Hands are about here.
This could be a 3-way all in. Jam, call, overcall. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Whoa. Wow. I mean, look at this. Karenkas from the short stack is about to play a 15 plus 7, maybe a 17 million chip pot. He folded ace queen suited versus jacks, and now he has got the best of it, and he is going to be playing for a lot of chips. 12, 6, 17 million, 18 million chip pot. This is the hand of the tournament. Drum roll, everybody. Clean. 3-1 favorite. Kings are going to the turn is clean. Can he fade the river? The dream spin. Is it to be?
Oh, it's a no spot. It could be an ace. Oh, it's a deuce.
It looked like wow. I thought it was. And Karenkas, he is not even on either of our teams for dinner. And he is the chip leader right there. Anatoly Filatov going to go out 2 tough hands back to back. And look at this. Karenkas, ladies and gentlemen, if you like underdogs, if you're rooting for Morocco, earlier, if you like to see this type of action, this is crazy. This is a spin of spins, but a lot of poker left, Brian. A lot of talented players. Not so familiar with Karenkas himself. He doesn't really have much.
Wow, Filatov with over 10 million in GG winnings just on GGPoker.
Strong.
It's a lot. It's pretty strong.
It's very strong, very respectable, and he is at a what do you call? He is. Man, this is quite a spin up. I gotta say, guys, at home, if you guys have him, what would you say is the best thing to read for understanding how to use ICM? I'll let Rast even answer. Rast is even more, it's a tournament. He's got 23 million live tournament earnings. Rast, what do you like to use?
I mean, listen, I haven't done much ICM studying in years now. When I did do some ICM studying, like this is now something like 8 or 9 years ago. I got ICMizer and Hold'em Resources, and I was using those as ways to study. Actually, JG, I think we were there in Germany, right? I was. Yes. That was when I was just starting. This was like as I was getting into playing the more live poker tournaments, because I actually started out my career as a cash game player. The way I studied ICM was playing turbo sit and goes, and then just running a lot of the spots in Hold'em Resources. And the reason why I like that is because turbos, you get short enough so that there's a bunch of push fold spots, and push fold spots are much faster to run. So I would get down, and pretty soon it's all just mostly push fold. And those spots I could, after a sit and go, I could easily run like 2 or 3 spots and just study. Anyway, back to the
I love the question. I love the analysis, but this is brewing. Look at this hand. Top pair, middle set, nut flush draw, Rast. This is a lot happening. We're 5-handed. Everyone here is guaranteed 387,000. The next player to make it, if you make to the final 4, you got a $500,000 coming your way. But this is pretty sick. This is really sick. Can Bao just get out of the way here? I mean, he's got top pair, but it's a bet and a call. It'd be kind of.
I think to this sizing, I think we're going to see a call. Wow, folds, very strong folds, very impressive. I mean, that was like less than third pot. We're talking like 30% call. Top pair, decent kicker, got out of the way. Wow, okay. And this is a bad card for Karenkas, because now Karenkas has to think he has some showdown with the ace in addition to his draw.
Yeah, I mean, queen 10 does arrive, but does queen 10 suited, is that in there? Not that many combos. You got middle set on the flop. You know, you do come out, just think more likely hands, flushes, flush draws, king, queen suited, stuff like that. This is going to be,
this is a tough sizing for him. It's hard to get away here, having hit the ace and having, obviously you can hit a diamond. And now pretty easy jam by Wisprod. And will Karenkas call? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go with probably not, but I mean, I won't be shocked if I see a call, but it is a spot where, I mean, listen, Wisprod's a good player. Karenkas has shown pretty conservative, likes saving chips, definitely reasons why you might end up folding. Also, you know, yeah, there's draws, but versus a flat, you have to start kind of thinking that my opponent has to start turning weaker pairs into bluffs. Not a ton of unpaired hands that can get here. I mean, like 9-10 suited, maybe like queen 9 suited. Not too many other kind of unpaired hands that get here naturally. Kind of sort of have to think, okay, maybe you know, my opponent has 8-9 of diamonds, 8-10 of diamonds. You know, would he really 3-barrel like Jack 10 of hearts like this? You know, bet the flop. Betting the flop there is kind of dicey 3-ways when under the gun raiser checks, probably checks Jack 10 of hearts. So it does start to get hard to find bluffs, natural 3-barrel bluffs here, and you're not beating value, I think, on the river with ace-6 suited there, even though you have an ace. Like, there's no value hand you're beating. So
yeah, well, ultimately gets off, but it did get hooked on for a couple bit of streets there. And Barack now with the chip lead 22 million. So we've seen some shifting of chips and power here. Sir Mr. Watts in there, Mr. Watson, Mike Watson, still in the mix, 5-handed, the shortest stack, but still a 7.7. So the blinds are up to 300K, 600K. Rast. We are in officially a 2 hour and 15 minutes into the stream, and we're making moves today. We've got to play to a winner. This is a series that goes on for a while. So, you know, circuit rings available. They're going to be available. We'll be here on Tuesdays, and we got some fun streams ahead. And this is no different. It is snowing. I like the background. Nice final table. The winter series is there, and we got some big names here. Big names, big purses. Who's impressed you the most right now? Tournament ends the second so far.
I've really liked Ponikov's. I've liked a lot of his decisions. Obviously, doesn't even have more chips than what he started with, but I mean, he's won some of his chips with nothing. Really nice fold with king queen. Yeah. Next, I would probably go Wisprod.
Yeah. Well, he's got a flush draw and a straight draw comes with it on the turn now. He's got a, I'm sorry, no, not a straight draw. I saw 6-5 suited, 8-5 suited. So he still has a flush draw, king 7 in the lead, 6.5 million. And you know, if you're Ponikov's, you do realize it's a pretty wet board. You don't have any clubs in your hand. You don't have a 10 or an 8 or a queen.
This does not seem like a natural candidate to double barrel. But should he find a decent sized double barrel, Wisprod has a pretty tough hand. I mean, yeah,
Bravo.
To continue. I mean, listen, this is the second double barrel kind of Ponikov's has done. He's 2 for 2 with them. So
it's a man with the plan. He is running hot for sure, running hot with his own play. And we are up to almost 200 likes. Appreciate that. We've got almost 1,900 watching at home. Let us know in the world where you're watching. Hope you're enjoying yourself. It's a holiday spirit. It's a holiday time. You know, it's that month, December, Christmas. Things are winding down. Thanksgiving, has happened. If you're in the US, I know this is a big poker time coming up. Rast, any multi-table tournaments for you? You're gonna finish the year, play a little bit?
I'm definitely gonna play. There's a win 10K like WPT 15 million guarantee. So they're saying they're getting at least 1,500 runners. I'm gonna play that. And then yeah, I mean that's the only tournament really I'm planning to play so far this in the rest of this year, but should be a good one.
Yeah. Yep. Ace nine, queen five. Queen five defends, ace nine suited. Got a lot of backdoors and just the best hand, best position. Small bet, maybe 800K. Could do the trick here. See what he comes with. Check though, and
Besides the check back, I think you find in some of those spots a lot of the middling aces, especially suited backdoor there. They're some of the hands that most prefer check.
Wow,
And
look, Sir Watts going with the half pot, but ace nine suited. Is it, can he does hang on, and hello. That is what they say. Jungleman says, bet your gutters. He actually had open-ended and he has got himself a straight, loses to not many hands here now. He's got the 5. Very interesting run out, loses to 9-10, but I don't, this is, you gotta feel good. Bet the queen 5 off, hit the 4, and he does go ahead and bet. Barack gonna get out of the way. 15 million, little shift there. Mike gonna be over 10 mil now. Everything tightened up. No one really below 10 million. Ace king and nines. This has got the making of a blockbuster, Rast. This has got the making of a big pot. We're gonna see a pot here, I think, for, oh, hello. I didn't even see ace queen suited behind there. Did you catch that one peeking?
I did see that. Now, how's Ponikov's gonna play it? Flat or 3-bet? And then what'll Watson do versus a 3-bet here? I mean, if he 3-bets, I think you're going pretty small, like something like 2.7 or 2.8. You can't do a natural 3x. The stacks are too short. Oh, wow. He just folds nines. Wow. That was a very, very tight adjustment versus a cutoff open.
Whoa. Wow, and a big swing. Ace king gets in ahead instead of behind flipping, and it is ace king in the driver's seat. See if we get a sweaty turn.
Ooh,
it is very sweaty.
Turn.
Very safe. Still a 3-1 favorite. And can he pull it? No, it is going to be
a chop. 3-3 ace. Oh no,
king.
Sorry, not a chop. Yeah, king. No, he had the pair of kings. My bad.
He had the boat, and Mike Watson is now very short and a sick one. I guess that for Ponikov's, look at that, averts a big pot there. He would have lost as well. The king, ace king was winning that hand in that situation. So we are still 5-handed, but very critical conditions for Mike Watson as he gets cooler there. We'll chalk that up to a cooler. It's position 5-handed, those stacks and those hands for sure. And Karenkas, chip leader, your shortest stack to start the day, is having himself quite the day.
Yes, guys, I'm sorry, my bad. I was thinking 3-3 and both play ace king, but obviously with the ace king, he has 3s full of kings. So spaced out there. My apologies. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if Ponikov's flats or 3-bets, like what does Watson do with ace queen suited? I guess we'll never know, but that was a very, very interesting decision to fold nines.
Yeah.
Wow, will his third double barrel work? Now this is the I feel like the most likely spot he would have gotten called there, but does not. Zero. That was a 0 equity bluff. I mean, listen, Ponikov's at this point, to answer your question about who's playing the most impressively, I mean, it's like, it's just no question it's Ponikov's. I mean, the guy's like double barreling, no one's calling, putting pressure, getting out of the way, king, queen fold the turn, no 1.6, like nines versus a guy, I guess he's dubbed as really tight, you know, gets out of the way versus cutoff open.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Jacks to ace king. This is moving quickly. This is huge pot. It is clean on the flop. There's a lock. Oh, the electricity card. Mike Watson makes the nut, well, the straight, and ace king hits against Jack. So wow, Kurenkas gets a absolutely massive pot, and he is going to be your overwhelming chip leader, and a pay jump for Mike. What a 4 there. Barack Wisbrod looks very familiar, and he is number 103 in the Super Millions. And look at this guy. Look at this.
Kurenkas is taking out all my guys. He's now the chip leader.
Wow. The audience at home, we're going to do the giveaway. We're going to make the keyword giveaway here. All right, we're going to do the giveaway right now. I'm going to give you guys the keyword. And now here it is, ace, king, king 10. Mike, though, is in a 4th place payout guaranteed 500,000.
It's a 10.
It could be down to 3.
Only.
And it is going to be
it's not a 10.
It's not a 10. Wow. It is going to be, let's see, GG, WSOP, and then your username. So that'll be it. GG, WSOP, then your GG username for the 50 or $100 giveaway. So what are we, is it locked up for the 100? No. So they're a very good favorite to get the 100, right? The 2 of the 3 remaining players are on the chat, YouTube, the chat side. So you guys are in really good position for the 100.
Kurenkas has more than half of the chips. More than half of the chips in play at the current moment in time. Pretty strong, although because of all these rapid knockouts, now there could be some 3-handed play. Doesn't have to end as fast as it's been going. 3, a great card for Kurenkas here. Hand where he kind of had nothing and probably ends up losing to the open-ended straight draw / 3 high no showdown value that bluffs. Now he's just got the best hand with a kicker that plays.
Wow.
Kurenkas has been running pretty pure. Quite the spin up from the shortest stack.
Wow. Wow. So,
and now he's applying the pressure.
It's, I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta respect, guys. Remember, you gotta hit the thumbs up and then type in GG WSOP and your GG Poker username. But hit that thumbs up to be eligible along with that keyword. We will pick that once we get to heads up. And it has been a fun final table. Really some impressive play, and gotta love the short stack into the chip lead 3-handed. Pretty special stuff.
He goes with 3rd pot basically, which king little rainbow. Will he do the no pair, no draw double barrel? Just give up? Probably works. Should he do it? Wow, he does. 60%. I mean, hard to see ace deuce off continuing here. Yeah. All right, Kurenkas has some game, huh? Doesn't just play solid and tight. I feel like that was the first example of him really showing some aggression, both in terms of his pre-flop open and that turn double barrel, which I don't think everybody does that.
No.
To be frank, it wasn't like an obvious spot. It was just, you know what? I'm the chip leader. I've been playing solid. you know, I'm really going to put max pressure if my opponent has like a pair of 3s or 5s or, you know, ace high or something like he does. And yeah, it worked out. It's very interesting. I feel like at this final table, almost every single time somebody has barreled down post flop, they've basically won. Ooh, a lot of outs here.
Yeah, this is big moment here.
It's a 3-side. Oh, but the 8 is the only 3-side, which doesn't improve.
Wow, that was my dinner. That was, you know, it's a big, we're talking millions of dollars, but that was to be in good shape, right? That was basically, we each had one guy in the audience had one. So we each have one left. That was a big swing. That was for it, right?
I mean, Karinkas is still a pretty big favorite to win, but yes, it's now pretty tough for Panakovs to do it. For sure.
Right. Well, we could actually have no one winning. That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
We're a favorite to have a split, a Dutch.
Yeah. When we did it, the guy who we left out of it had like 10 blinds or something crazy, when like the average stack was like 40 or more. And he's right now like in the driver's seat to win this tournament.
Yeah.
All right. Queen 3 off versus about 13 blinds here. I think it's well, he goes with 2.5 instead of the jam. Interesting. Feel like jamming that has to be plus EV.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's a whole new ballgame. That's for sure. Whole new game. King 9 suited, ace 7 suited against this stack. I mean, yeah, this is there's a player behind, but ace 7 suited. There is a player behind, and he is gonna, let's see, does he want to risk the biscuit here? So King 9 suited gets ace 7 suited to fold. First step in the comeback, right? After being chip leader for much of the final table. I mean, a nice, again, Panakovs played very well. He's also guaranteed now 3rd place money. A little bit of adversity, lost a big hand there, and he is still in the mix.
He had Queen 3 off, huh? Holy mackerel. This guy could be really good.
Which one?
Our guy Korikas. He might be awesome. I'm gonna do a few more on the future game simulation, but yes, it turns out Queen 3 off is minus 0.01 as a jam. So if you want to earn on it, according to Hold'em Resources, opening to 2.5x and then folding to a jam would be, might be plus EV, but jamming it isn't.
You just got 8s to fold, right? He just put pressure on 8s there with the short stack. So really understanding the situation as well, where with how his opponent interprets the 3-handed and the stack sizes. So of course it's obvious that no one wants to go out, right? If you're in clear second to go out, but he just knows his opponent too, that he's gonna maybe make a little bit tighter folds. And Bao is in a tough spot here in second. He's getting some pressure put on. Panakov's going to raise for the min. Kornikov's call 9-10. No help to either player. He's 3 in the lead. Pretty dry board. Deuce, deuce, jack. And Panakov's likely going to bet small here. Does do that. Picks it up. No one rolling over, but the Ducks here. Bao just gonna have to give up.
Jam. Yeah, easy jam.
Super jam, NBA jam, all the jams and jelly. It's in there. We are gonna pick a winner once we get a heads up, guys. Thank you for being here. Over 2,000 watching. 260 people have hit the thumbs up. I don't know what the other 18, 17, 50-ish plus are doing, but we appreciate you guys. And if you do want to be eligible for the giveaway, you got to hit that thumbs up and type in GG space WSOP space your username, or friends if you aren't able to play. Maybe just put your friend's name in.
And Bao playing very solid as expected. He's in a spot out of position, handcuffed by the chip leader, just wants to ladder up and earn probably a significant pay jump, nearly 200,000 going from third to second. So it makes a lot of sense. He's going to let Kornikas do the work.
All right, 6-3, 5-9. It is a 8.
This is a hand that favors Kornikas's range for sure as the opener. I don't think Ponikovs has any pairs other than traps. He could have aces or kings, maybe even queens, but probably flats all goals. But other than that, probably a lot of garbage.
Oh, this is the road that may lead to an end. Of course, king 8 suited, big hand here in the stack and a small blind, and massive hand in the big blind. It's going to be a raise and a snap call. 12.4 million, huge pot, implications to the field. King 8 suited needs runner, and that is it. We are heads up, and we are going to announce a winner shortly of the giveaway, and we are going to play heads up poker. Good game, and it is a really good game from Ponikas as chip leader for most of the tournament. Obviously, it'll be a little disappointing third, but 651,000 to add on that Super Millions, crossing 4 million in earnings, number 15 overall. Wearing the Beyrouzi shirt, the Rooster Booster, who was on as a guest recently and also on my podcast and also a member of Team GG. So look at that support there for Ponikovs. I know they're good friends, and he is going to be happy with another massive score. Really great poker.
Got to feel good about how he played. Seems like looking from the booth, he played great. I mean, sometimes it's just there's luck involved in poker, so you could play great and not win. But Ponikovs played really well. He was the chip leader, rode it out into third. A lot of good play. Really didn't get any setup hands, right? Didn't get gifted any chips, and just stole some pots, managed to limit his losses, and parlayed it all the way up into 652K. So, great job.
Yeah, really, really nicely done. And we are 48 mil to 24 mil, roughly 2-1 lead. As we are down the stretch, we will play it out to the winner, and we will have a circuit ring awarded. There'll be more to come, of course. Say it again, all the way to January 9th. The winner series here, circuit series on WSOP and GG. Nice teamwork, collaboration, a ring in the mail. I don't know, not bad though. I'm sure you're happy to get the ring in the mail, but 1,095,000 from 10K. As we said, Rast, 722 entrants. Pretty impressive for a 10K buy-in online tournament right now going on. Really, really, really impressive. And does that spark your interest, Rast? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to be in the US and just fire 10K, for $1 million to first on a Sunday? I mean, are we gonna get it? Is it gonna happen again in our lifetime? Are we going to be old men with grandkids and late when it's happening, or do you think we'll get to play poker soon, Rast? For what's your thoughts?
I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice. All the old, or even I mean, if they really open back up in the US again, maybe those spots where it's like $1,000 buy-in, but they get like 5,000 runners or some some of those, I feel like the old tournaments back when online was really booming, even you were getting like these massive payouts for like $400 buy-in tournaments too, like every Sunday, right? Like what was it, like the Sunday whatever back in the day? And like those were cool because obviously they had all kinds of people, willing to put up 400 or 200 or 1,000 or so just all of it, 10,000, 800 runners, 1,000 runners. Get 5,000, get a couple thousand runners. Yeah, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
I would have thought, when Black Friday happened, I probably would have guessed that by now would have been more legalized action, right? 12 or however many years it's been. It's been like 12 years.
Almost 12 years coming up in April. Yeah, it's a lot in Michigan, Pennsylvania coming on, but not enough. Not enough is the answer. Not quite enough. 5-3, interesting blocks. The nuts, has a pair, has a gut shot as well to improve. Sticks on, has the best hand if he can hold here if he doesn't get the pressure from Bao. Bao basically has the worst hand can have,
Go-
right?
It feels like with his blockers, big sizing makes more sense as well. Could see just like 1.5-ish, which would be like 17, 16 mil, leave himself with a nub to work with if he gets called. All those bets seem to make a lot of sense to me. You know, if he goes a little bit smaller, wow, he doesn't bluff it. I don't think 5-3 calls as well. It's funny if he chooses a smaller bluff where he's saying, okay, I'm gonna bluff a size where an ace calls me, but I'm gonna try to get smaller pairs to fold, something like 2/3 pot, where that targets hands like what Karenkas had really well. Still very hard to call 2/3 pot with a 5 there because you're not beating any value.
Yeah.
But gave up. That's an interesting give up. It feels like Karenkas is just really going to do this.
He's
got a 3-1 chip lead now.
I would have liked to see his price at the start of the tournament. It would have been hefty. Chip leader, direct left, shortest stack, world-class players left and right, maybe relatively unknown. A lot of the guys have their real names. He's just, you know, we don't know much about him. Doesn't have Super Millions results, really. I think he's played only a handful of tournaments in this season 2 of the Super Millions. So yeah, all the things were stacked against him, and here he is with a chip lead, 50 million to 21 million, and it is anyone's game. All right, guys, once we hit, I'm gonna announce the giveaway here. I'm gonna give you another minute or two to hit the thumbs up, type in GG space WSOP with the giveaway or with your GG username, and then we will go ahead and pick that. It's gonna be $50 or $100. If Karenkas wins, he was your unlikely dark horse. You had the chip leader, you had the shortest stack, you got Anatoly and Sir Watts, but you had a couple of relatively long shots, and Karenkas is executing right now to do that, to deliver for the $100 or $50 giveaway. So let's see what happens. Over 50 million, 70 million total chips in play, just over about 71 million chips, and ace, king, king nine. This could be problematic. I mean, king nine, pretty good hand. The computer hand heads up, queen seven off. Both hands qualify for better. Ace, king, full ring is welcoming. Heads up, certainly. And king nine off, though. Kind of a weird one, right? Like, where it's like not that strong, but you also heads up, you're in position. So offsuit.
Yeah, what does he decide to do? Finds a fold. Match hasn't been particularly aggressive yet.
Yeah, well, there's that queen seven off the computer hand. Ace nine, ace eight. Ooh, just got him pipped. See a limp. This is going to qualify to raise. And then the interesting part is ace eight off. What do? Do you feel like it's strong enough to attack to make the move, or do you just call? Certainly not folding, not limping to fold that particular hand. All right, guys, I'm going to announce the winner here because I know we're getting close to, you know, it could be any hand. It's heads up. I'm gonna pick the winner right now. Give you guys another second or two. Look at that.
Wow, he
fold.
did limp to fold.
Wow, that's surprising, right? It's like that would not have that's not what I would have expected, but wow, he avoids danger there. He would have been in a bad spot. What do you think on that, Rast? The limp to fold the ace eight?
I mean, that seems pretty tight. You know, feels, you know, I'm not certain, but it feels like it's definitely wrong. And according to GTO, like a GTO heads up range, I mean, I would guess limp jam, ace eight off. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think fold's got to be wrong though, right? You probably agree.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That's for sure. And you happen to be just behind. And here, that same token then selects an aggressive move with the backdoor stuff that can go well, right? He's got some good fill-in cards on the turn if he gets called, but queen deuce suited, check raising. Deuces though, you know, if you bet and get raised here, it's really not a ton you can do. So it's interesting bout. Does just showing a little different strategy, a little different, a little tighter in some spots, a little more aggressive in some spots. But wow, deuces, Rast.
I mean, 30 blinds seems a little aggro to limp to jam the ace eight off there. I would probably have called.
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
that's what,
yeah.
that's what I would have thought. That would be like limp to call, maybe keep in some worse hands, play in position. But yeah, it obviously doesn't play well, but you are heads up and there are going to be some bluffs.
Yeah, I mean, there should be.
Yeah. We just saw both players get out of
Also, I mean, Karinkis has been playing pretty aggressive ever since he's picked up some chips. I mean, that was also the second or third time that he's, I mean, I think it was the second time he had just raised the limp the hand before. The guy limped, I think Biao limped queen seven off and then folded to Karinkis raising, I believe it was queen 10 off. So that time though, he did go bigger on the sizing. He 5x'd it. Probably factored into the ace eight off fold, I think, versus a 4x probably calls, but maybe he just decided versus the 5x, the range is polar and he wanted to let it go. But
Yeah.
do we gamble here?
For the title, is it just, do you go for it right here? No.
He says no. Not gambling for the title. 18, call 14 mil to win like 18 and a half or something. Jack 10 suited.
Got a shot of espresso miracle. How many coffees are you on Rast today? You do like one a day, don't you? You like coffee?
Just one. I had one coffee before we started. I mean, dude, we've been strapped in. I've taken one break to very quickly use the bathroom. You know, if I had like right here, you know, boom, in the forest with me, I had an espresso machine or a cappuccino machine, I would have had one or two cappuccinos while we're sitting here, but unfortunately that hasn't been an option. My forest does not have a cappuccino machine right here. Just no.
Check this card out. I broke. Oh wait, why can't I see? Oh no, you can't see because of green screen. I was gonna show. It's a name. I pulled a nice Neymar signed auto thing, but that was crazy. Can't see it. Are you how's your card game right now, Rast? Are you collecting anything? Have you betting on it? Because the market's down a lot.
I mean, I collected a bunch like 1 to 2 years ago or whatever it was. I'm just sitting on that. I basically got what I wanted and probably down.
Holding. Yeah, I don't think it's down. It's not down from then probably, but it's down a lot from the peak. But yeah, it's been a ride.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of my stuff after the peak, so it wasn't pure peak, but you know, I don't know how things have done in the last year. I haven't even looked.
Well, we see a nice fold there. 6-4 makes a full house and does get out of the way. Still holding that 50-20 lead. Seen a couple jockeying blows. Did announce the winner. Appreciate you guys. If you still want to hit the thumbs up though, it's welcome. You know, 300 out of 1900. I know we can do better. We can have, you Rest. You gotta hit the thumbs up yourself, man. If you're on got the stream on the side, GGPoker on YouTube. There it is. Live thumbs up. Only thing better than the YouTube direct. Click the button, thumbs up. And Bow is not ready to bow out, Rast. He's fighting. Limping,
he is
holding. He's trying to get that title. How often you get to be heads up for a circuit event? Not that often, and he has got a chance, but nice to secure 845 guaranteed though. USD
goes with the bet. This looks like around 40%, maybe a hair above. Can't just fold a pair of sixes now. Sixes, Backdoor straight draw. Ooh, little check raise. Not going to work here. Interesting candidate to do it with. Feels like top pair, very easy call in position. I'm going to guess Karinkis probably shuts down on most turn cards that don't improve.
Woohoo!
And that's the kind of like card where maybe this match could end here. I mean, we got 9 million in the pot. It's not even a 2-to-1 stack to pot ratio. Top pair just got sucked out on. No draws improved. I was going small. Very comfy call here by Bao. And then the river. What Bao really doesn't want to see is like a queen or a jack, like jack of diamonds, really bad card. Doesn't hit any draws. Now he's chopping with hands that he might have been losing to, such as like king 10. Oh, just shifts
It's just in. It is in, and the cards are on their back. The check raise with the mid pair to the river.
King
Fade for
only.
a title. It is not paint. That is it. That is Bow out. Bow second place. Look at the payouts. 845,000 going his way. But our champion from the bottom to the top, Karinkis, Israeli flag. Couple of countries in there, World Cup participants and players. But as it stands, man, 1,095,000 going to Karinkis. Very well played. I was impressed all around. Rast, do you have any kind of thoughts on overall game? Panakas, you mentioned played very well. What are some other takeaways that you saw today?
Very impressed with him. Honestly, Karinkis, for one of the two guys at the table who we didn't have the pleasure of knowing his name, so you assume, oh, maybe he's, not a pro, not as experienced. Honestly, seemed like he played quite well. I mean, had a lot of moves, mixed it up, double barrel, no equity there, if I remember, with the 10-8 offsuit. Started mixing it up after playing very conservative early on. Even felt like overly respecting ICM in a couple spots. Obviously, it worked out for him. Goes to show sometimes the power of staying alive, right? But then once he did start getting some chips, showed that he definitely understands the game, multiple gears. So don't know who he is, don't have his name, but for the anonymous guy who, supposedly not a poker pro, definitely played pretty well, I think. What about you?
Yeah, all around really impressed. I thought there was spots people are going for it. There was great play. We saw some of the biggest names in poker, kind of how they maneuver on short stacks. Mark Radoja, we saw Elio Fox, we saw Mike Watson and Anatoly Filatov. So some more familiar household names. We saw some unknowns play very well and get the result. And all in all, I thought it was one of the really impressive final tables to watch, and really appreciate everyone being here. Rast, thank you so much for the time today to join along. And of course, we will be back. I'm sure Rast will be on a future show, and the Super Millions, the winner circuit event with the WSOP collaboration, rings being handed out, some marquee events, as we mentioned, December 4th to January 9th. So a lot of play left, just getting going here on that. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place, Super Millions. Thank you everybody for watching.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.